Gallstaff, you have entered the door to the north. You are now by yourself, standing in a dark room. The pungent stench of mildew emanates from the wet dungeon walls.
Where are the Cheetos?
They're right next to you.
I cast a spell.
Where's the Mountain Dew?
In the fridge, duh.
I want to cast a spell.
Can I have a Mountain Dew?
Yes, you can have a Mountain Dew. Just go get it.
I can cast any of these, right? On the list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room?
I want to cast Magic Missile.
A room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet.
I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Fine. You attack the darkness. There's an elf in front of you.
Whoa!
That's me, right?
He's wearing a brown tunic, and he has gray hair and blue eyes.
No, I don't. I have gray eyes.
Let me see that sheet.
Well, it says I have blue, but I decided I wanted gray eyes.
Whatever. Okay, you guys can talk to each other now if you want.
Hello.
Hello.
I am Gallstaff, Sorcerer of Light.
Then how come you had to cast Magic Missile?
you guys are being attacked.
Do I see that happening?
No, you're outside by the tavern.
Cool, I get drunk.
There are 7 ogres surrounding you.
How could they surround us? I had Mordenkainen's magical watchdog cast.
No, you didn't.
I'm getting drunk. Are there any girls there?
I totally did. You asked me if I wanted any equipment before this adventure, and I said no. But I need material components for all my spells, so I cast Mordenkainen's faithful watchdog.
But you never actually cast it.
Roll the dice to see if I'm getting drunk.
Yeah, you are.
Are there any girls there?
Yeah.
I did, though. I completely said when you asked me.
No, you didn't. You didn't actually say that you were casting the spell. So now there's ogres, okay?
Ogres? Man, I got an ogre slaying knife. It's got a +9 against ogres.
You're not there. You're getting drunk.
Okay, but if there's any girls there, I want to do them.
Welcome to the Perfectly Sane Show, episode number 17.
Yo.
I am Chris. Evidently, I forget to say my name all the time when we start the show.
This
So
guy.
it's like, I'm just that guy.
You're just such a badass. People either.
Everyone knows who you are. That's what it is.
Exactly. We're just noobs.
And I'm here with Tony.
Unlike Jeff, I'm not a slave to the poon.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Fozzie.
should we explain the story to
Yeah.
our loyal listeners out there?
Let's explain the story as soon as we get through all the introductions.
Okay.
Yeah, that is Fozzie. He's going to tell you a story.
What up?
And we have a special guest today, the community manager, the worldwide community manager
Yeah.
from
Damn
Direct
right.
Drive.
What's up, guys?
Mr. Walter Lopez.
Hello.
So as you could tell, regular listeners, we are missing Jeff.
Jeff Derrickson. Usually he's like my drinking partner, in terms of getting drunk. You both drink, both of you, but you don't get fucked up like we do, so kind of disappointed. I'm not going to drink in his honor. Not really. I just didn't have any alcohol, but still.
But you know the story better, Foz, so...
Yeah, basically, a couple nights ago, we were talking on maybe like AIM or Tiny Chat or something, and he's like, oh, dude, I found this girl on Match.com, because he always rags on Match.com how much it sucks and shit. And so, like, he shows me a picture of the chick and everything, and I guess, like, they're talking and then just going back and forth, and I guess stuff got really, really dirty and shit, so... He's like, I'm not going to be able to do the podcast tonight. or on Wednesday, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What are you doing?" He's like, "I wouldn't get laid." So I was like, "Okay, that's exceptional." But anyways, we decided to trade him in and upgrade to the Walter Lopez package. So
Walter has his priorities in order.
yeah, exactly.
And I bring
So-
free stuff, so.
Yeah, you do. So I call it upgrade. So yeah, that's pretty much the story in a nutshell. I don't know if he wants me saying anything else. So I'll
Bros
stop
before
there.
hoes, that's all I'm saying.
I know. I told him that too. I gave him the whole spiel, but he's like, "Dude, I need this." I was
Then
like,
again,
"All
you
right."
dumped us for a football game earlier this year, so.
You did.
I did actually.
So, I mean, if you go by the excuses, his is actually better. So,
It was the season opener with a new head coach.
of a team that
pretty big.
can't do anything this year.
At that point, we still could have won the AP title. Let's not get into schematics and whatnot.
All right. I'm gonna use a Walt Disney World pen in Jeff's honor today.
All right.
I really wanted him to be on because I wanted him to address the issues with Epic Mickey since he loves it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of criticism about that game, but I guess we'll have to get into that next week with our opening of the Game of the Year discussion. So
That should not even be in the discussion. If you want my 2 cents, I'll send in a question that says that.
What, for Game of the Year?
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Well, for Wii platform, yeah, but not for overall Game of the Year. It shouldn't be in discussion.
I think if Jeff brings it up, we'll shout him down, but I don't think he will.
yeah, we have an interesting format for how we're going to decide our Game of the Year. So
I'm gonna say this. That game is a perfect package of blind fanboyism. It's all the Nintendo Wii heads and the Disney heads got a package that just makes them not look at all the faults that game has.
yeah,
you know?
I'm just
So
I'm
I'm gonna leave it at that.
So yeah, we're not going to discuss it a whole lot since I don't think have any of us played it outside of like have you played a lot of it, Walt? Or
Yeah, I got my hands on it a little bit in the office during the weekends and stuff, and nah. Before Craig Harris left, we got to discuss it. Got to see it in length before it was released, and it's tough for me to talk about this and kind of not sound like I'm talking down.
right.
Rich's review, which I'm not. He expressed himself and so but I just don't. I don't know.
It's his opinion, so I mean, you have your own
Yeah,
opinion.
exactly.
It's true, but it's a tough call because I'm not. I don't want to get pinned against coworker or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but still, my personal opinion, that game shouldn't even be considered. It got way too much blind faith by a lot of people who just are in love with brands.
Well, I think if you look at platformers on the Wii this year, you also have like Galaxy 2 and Kirby and Donkey Kong Country Returns. I mean, it's hard to put that in any discussion, even just on the Wii, with the issues it has. So
Yeah. And I mean, Jeff being a big Disney fanboy, I think that's where a lot of his enjoyment of that game is coming from. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that. Yeah.
But since he's not here and can't defend himself, or the
We
game,
won't rag on it.
right?
Epic Mickey sucks, Jeff. It sucks.
Yes.
And I can't play it. My Wii is broke, so I can't play it. So.
Well, that's like all right. Last thing. That's like saying like, oh, I love Disney, so I'm gonna love this. All right. I love tits, so I love Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball. Right? I mean,
I'm sure it worked for somebody
Hey,
out there.
Can I curse on this podcast?
Yes.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, feel
fuck
free.
Mickey.
All right. But Tony, you've been playing Fable 3, so
Fable 3. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I will say,
Pleasantly surprised.
when I went into playing this game, having heard all of Peter Molyneux's like rantings and stuff, I shut all that off. I expected absolutely nothing. Like I expected the game to be utterly terrible. So I guess I had nowhere to go with those expectations except up. But I mean, I was entertained. I put like somewhere around 14 hours into the game so far. The main quest line is only probably 6 or 7 hours, so it's not a particularly long game. But there's a lot to do if you want to do all the side quests. I find the game's sense of humor absolutely hilarious. Some of the guys they got, Stephen Fry is amazing. He plays Reaver, who is like this villain. Game does a lot of jokes. It is making fun of Dungeons and Dragons and society in general. It's a hilarious game to play. There are some issues with it. There's one cutscene near the end. I won't ruin what happens for you guys if you do eventually end up playing it. But something bad happens, and one of the other characters comes and puts his hand up on your shoulder, except his hand goes straight through your shoulder and reaches out the other side. And you do notice that kind of thing in the game. There are a few minor glitches. It has that stupid yellow trail that tells you where you're supposed to go.
I hate that, dude.
Yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it just disappears, sometimes it points you back where you were before as opposed to guiding you where you're supposed to go. The combat is exactly like Fable 2. If you played Fable 2, this is the same game. The gameplay is exactly the same. You're not going to be surprised by anything. There are a couple changes. The menu change really, really annoyed me. They went without a standard pause menu where you can go through all your options and stuff in favor of this interactive game experience type thing where you can walk around to the map and to a room where you can change your clothes, or you can walk up to this billboard where you can save the game. I had a really, really hard time figuring out where I was supposed to go to do stuff. I couldn't figure out, last week before the podcast, I couldn't figure out how to save my game because I wanted to stop playing. And I just couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go. And I'm like, I just want to press start and go to save. That's all I want to do. But as much as I whine, I kind of like the main storyline. The overthrow thing goes a little fast. I feel like maybe the game was rushed a little out of development because it happens really suddenly. You're like, oh, okay, now I'm the king. But the king storyline kind of makes up for that. I don't know. It's entertaining. I like it.
All right.
Better than Fable 2, or?
I kind of like being the king.
Oh.
That's
probably not surprising.
The Emperor has spoken.
Yeah. And the ending to Fable 2 just really turned me off.
Okay.
So, I don't know, but if you like Fable 2, you like Fable 3. If you haven't played Fable 2, playing through Fable 3 might make you want to go back and try the first game. They're really similar. You're not... I don't know. It's hard to rank one over the other.
All right. Well, that was one of the big titles that came out this year. Fozzie, you've been playing another big title. You finished up Brotherhood.
Yes, I did. Actually, maybe 2 hours ago.
And what'd you think?
I was reading Napo's review on this that he posted. Yeah, I'm going to plug that in real fast. And
it wasn't me. It was Chris.
Oh, it was?
The
Napo,
long,
did you write any impressions or anything?
On Brotherhood? I don't think so.
He wrote a comment.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't count. All right, so I was reading Chris's on Vagary, and basically, what I enjoyed that I saw that you enjoyed too is that this is a game that they could have kind of just made it shitty because it's not numbered. People didn't really have that high expectations for this. I know I didn't before maybe a couple weeks ago, and it really surprised me. It's probably one of my top 3 games of the year. But it's really good. The story is fantastic. It picks up right where you left off, and Rome is a beautiful city. The only thing I was disappointed is that there wasn't very many like tall buildings. Sometimes I like going to a city and being like, oh man, that fucking building's going to be hard as shit to climb. But they did some unique stuff.
Did you climb up the Coliseum?
Yeah, that's the last one I actually did. I just got all the viewpoints, and I have a whole team of fully ranked assassins, like they're ranked to the max, and they fucking just destroy people, dude. if I have like 6 of them come out and shit, I mean they'll take on a whole army, and it's so funny. I'm just like sitting back. I don't do a damn thing, and I don't even get called out for it. It's just my assassins just kicking ass with. It's a fun game.
Yeah, they had to nerf the assassins at parts of the game. Like, you don't have them as options, I think, to make it a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could just do everything for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once you get them fully ranked up, I mean, they are badass. They have so much health, and, I mean, they have, like, smoke bombs and stuff, and they come in, they come out. I mean, they are truly, like, just really just assassinating people left and right and shit.
Yeah, you don't have them towards the end of the game. Like, once you get the apple, you don't really have access to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't have them on any of the Leonardo machine.
Yeah.
Things.
Yes.
Those missions would have been so easy. If you could add your assassins.
Those were fun too. They were more stealth oriented than I felt like a lot of the other missions were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the full
like if you got seen it all.
Yeah.
They were.
It was great though. I mean, totally worth your money. The multiplayer is surprisingly awesome. The wanted mode is fantastic. I love that mode because it's so suspenseful. I've never been like so on nails like when I'm playing multiplayer games because anyone could be your murderer. You don't know. It's kind of it's crazy. It's a lot of fun. The best is when you see the dude that's following you stab the guy right next to you. You're like, oh god, I'm free. So it was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot.
So there's a rather big cliffhanger ending to the game, and we're not going to spoil it for anybody. But what are your thoughts going into what's inevitably going to be Assassin's Creed 3 next year?
Well, I mean, if it is the final one, they really have a lot to live up to because the story is actually set like really nice. So I think it's going to be great. This is actually slowly becoming one of my favorite series. I didn't know what to expect with Brotherhood, but I mean, besides Mass Effect, there hasn't been a game in a while that I've played that I've really enjoyed from start to finish.
And Walter, you just don't get Assassin's Creed at all, do you?
I played the first one and it had the same complaints everybody else had, that it was repetitive and it was missing certain elements. And then I played the second one and it just failed to, I don't know, keep my attention despite everything it was doing. Mainly, the control scheme seemed a little forced to me. I know that's just my opinion. A lot of people don't think so. Some of the animations just didn't seem to work out for me. I never seemed to be able to jump in the direction I wanted to jump. And from what I played of Part 3, that hasn't improved. And just hearing Mike Ryan try to work through the guide, it's just not a fun experience, for guys like me and him who just aren't into the series as much as we should be or want to be, or you know what I mean, considering the background and the settings and the characters. I do want to be into it because I love that era of human history. It's sophisticated and barbaric at the same time, and it's just a perfect element for video games because exaggerate violence and things of that nature, But overall, man, I can't get myself to sit down and invest time into it,
Oh, and it is a time investment. Those two and Brotherhood were probably like 20, 25-hour games. So
yeah, I know they are, but in today's day where we all kind of feel forced, like we have to play a game and hurry up and get to the next one. I played a good 10, 15 hours maybe, or roughly around that time. and it just wasn't working. And I was talking to Javi. I was like, dude, I just can't. He's like, oh, give it another 5 hours. When it gets to 20 hours, it gets really, really good. I'm like, no, that's fucking bullshit. All right, it didn't work for Final Fantasy. It's not gonna work for Assassin's Creed.
If you've played a game for, I don't know, 2-3 hours, and you're like, I'm not having fun, don't play it again. There's so many games out there. Just find something that works for you.
It's just not for you. That's all. It's like,
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people just don't seem to get that, or a lot of people feel pressure to sound like an expert on games and I have to beat it. You don't have to.
You never played the second one, though, is what you said?
I played the second one. I gave the second one about 10 hours. Because Javi kept coaching me along, saying it was going to get better and better. And then 10 hours came around, he said, give it another 5. And I was like, no, dude, no. All right? That's like,
at that point.
Getting in the jailhouse bathroom and, being told, give it a couple more minutes, you enjoy it. That's not going to
Right?
That shit don't work, man.
No.
There's plenty of other games for you to enjoy. So
yeah. And also, I apologize. I don't know where that imagery came from.
It's okay. Since you're in Jeff's place, Jeff would normally say something like that. So, and he also hates Assassin's Creed, so it all works.
That's good.
Perfect.
So Brotherhood, not for everybody. And it certainly hasn't changed a whole lot. Like the mechanics of it. It still very much is an Assassin's Creed game. They haven't changed that. So if you didn't like it originally, you're not going to like it now.
No.
At this point, they can't gamble on changing things around. Right. They have a set fan base. They can't just all of a sudden switch things around and make it like a first-person shooter or something, or switch the controls around. Look what happened to Halo when they switched the grenade button.
Oh, yeah, everybody bitches and moans. So before we jump into the game that you've been playing, Walter, I played 3 games over the past little week. Well,
okay.
One of them was a Singularity. Came out back in June, maybe around Easter.
Yeah, I think it was June.
That sounds right. Yeah.
That's a good game. It's probably not worth $60, but you could probably get it cheap now. I don't think it's sold particularly well. It's a very good story, kind of BioShock in nature. It's cool. It takes place in like an alternate history where the Soviet Union has kind of become the dominant superpower, and they've done it with this chemical, this sort of mineral or whatever, that can be used for an assortment of things, but it also can change the time-space continuum.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
So there's like a time travel element to it, but basically like the guy gets like this thing on his arm, and it can do powers. So like you can speed up time and turn your enemies to dust, or you can slow down time and they'll move really slowly as they try and attack you. But it's really, the narrative is really good. The writing, very well done. The shooting is mediocre through the first hour or so, which I'm glad I played it on a Saturday night. I started playing it and I was like, oh, this is not good. And I came back the next day to give it a little bit more time. I'm glad I did, because it picks up once you're able to start upgrading your weapons, the shooting gets a little bit better. I think they gimp it a little bit at the start. But yeah, it's not. I was not happy with it. I was like, this sucks. And Raven, who developed it, they have a history of making fairly good games. Like they did the last Wolfenstein game, and I mean, they're not great games, but they know how to make a good shooter. So. Mm-hmm. I was expecting a little bit more out of it, but once that story kicks in, it's really good. So if you can get that cheap, you should.
And you can.
Yeah, you should give it a shot. Another game I played, I think this one came out in March or April maybe. It was Metro 2033. Trying to catch up on all my my games that I've missed out over here that are sitting on my shelf. Metro 2033 is pretty good. It's like Fallout set in Russia, but with a stronger narrative focus. It's not really like it's not open world really, although you get some aspects of that, but you're not like roaming the wastelands of Russia. The sections are very much designed like levels. So,
well, can you go like a little detail into it? Is it like World War III or something, or?
All right, so
it's the wasteland.
Basically, in World War III pretty much happened.
Nice.
And it's not too far in the future. So weaponry is fairly modern. Like, it's not futuristic weaponry or anything. We're not talking like ray guns or anything. Like they're using.
Damn it.
They're using standard like Russian issue weapons. That they find throughout there, and the outside everyone lives in these train stations now. The people that survived, like the way they survived was they fled to the metro stations as the attack was going on. And those that lived like have made the metro their home, but on the surface they're like these mutated creatures, and they're getting more. They're attacking more. They're infringing more on the metro and attacking more and more. So they now have to kind of like in Fallout, like they have to venture outside of their own metro and go get help. And I'm really early on in it, but so far it's been really cool. There's two types of ammo. There's what they call dirty ammo, which is made by the inhabitants of the metro, and that ammo can fail on you, but it's cheap. You can find it anywhere. And then there's military grade ammo, which is shiny and it always fires, but there's also not a lot of it. And because there's not a lot of it, that doubles as your currency. So you can actually buy stuff with the good ammo. It's worth a whole lot more. So there's like this weird economic game type in there too, dealing around the ammo.
Do you find yourself melee killing people instead of shooting them?
No, because I found so much ammo floating around, and it might be just because I'm so early on that it's just like they're making it kind of like getting you acclimated to it. But I maxed out my shotgun. I had maxed out my SMG really early on in the game, and I haven't found the point where it's like, I don't want to use my good ammo yet because I have so much of it that it's not really an issue. But it might play into it later on in the game. So it's pretty cool though. It's a decent story, much better than either Fallout 3 or even what I played in New Vegas so far. So.
Well, it's good reason for it too. It's based off a book, right?
Yeah, it's based off a Russian book.
Yeah, it's by the same name, Metro 2033. I believe the guy's name was Dmitry Gochkovsky. Yeah, Dmitry Gochkovsky, something like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I believe that there's a sequel to it too. I believe he's written another book.
There's I'm not sure if he's still alive. That's why he never finished it.
Or maybe they're just taking the outline for that book then, and because I heard they're gonna make a second Metro game, Metro 2034, and move on with that. So it's pretty cool though. Did you get a chance to play any of it, Walt? Or?
Yeah, I'm actually. That's one of the perks of my position is that I have to be aware of the products we sell on our site. So I put in a lot of time into this one so far, and it's like you said, it's well written. The world is very realized. I'm playing on a PC, so all the same warnings come for anyone that plays on the PC. Make sure you can run it. And but it's absolutely gorgeous. You run in DirectX 11, and it's just the lighting system is something else. It's one of those systems you bring your friends over and show them, and you'll be like, yeah, you can't do that shit on 360, can you? You know? And it's like Chris said, you know, the currency system very much feels like it's humanity's desperation time, and they're trading for whatever they can get their hands on. And you quickly get into the habit of checking dead bodies for ammo as opposed to just walking over them like first-person shooters, you know? And you do little things like that, and I love the element of like having to rely on a gas mask when you get into certain areas that are poisonous to breathe.
Yeah, and the gas mask can also get damaged.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you can't see.
And you have limited amount of air, so you literally have your stopwatch you set when you put your gas mask on, and as you're in the middle of a firefight, you know, there's a key dedicated in a keyboard where you press it and he brings it up, you know, and you look at his time, you're running out of air, you still got enemies fighting there, and you have that whole dynamic of desperation coming around, you know. And
yeah, it does that really well.
Yeah, it does really. And plus the mask starts fogging up as you start running out of air, so it gets even harder to see.
Great.
So, yeah, it's great though. It adds a layer to it that makes you really think about getting into firefights, making sure you get the stealth kills as opposed to just going in there, you know, guns blazing. I think it's a great game. I think it just came out at a really bad time, you know.
Yeah.
But I think nowadays, if you want something different for the holidays and you caught up on stuff, or you just want to try something a little more focused and more better paced than, you know, even Stalker, because this is the same team that did Stalker games, and those games are great in capturing atmosphere, but they're just too wide the fuck open, you know.
Yeah, this Metro definitely seems more enclosed, like.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, a lot of it is taking place in tunnels and in you know, train locales and metro stations, but the way they've designed each level is like separate, so you feel like you're progressing, but you also don't feel daunted by like this overwhelming world.
Yeah, and I think it works. It works for this particular setting. A lot of people say, "Oh, there's very little exploration." I was like, "Dude, you're in a subway. How much? You know, you're encased in a fucking tunnel. There's not much exploration. You know,
right?
So it works in that nature, you know. So,
yeah. And the last game that I gave a tryout to this weekend was a game that you recommended, Walter. Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Hell yeah, it is. I'm pimping that game out to fucking everybody that wants to hear it, man.
And it's a budget title too. I think it's only $20.
Yeah, it's a very small team that did it. It's an extremely small team, but they nailed something special, man. It's just a great experience. So
yeah, it's all physics-based puzzles, and it's all has to deal with lighting, and the story is just batshit insane.
It's a first-person shooter.
It's not a shooter, though.
You don't want to call it a shooter because you don't have a weapon. All right, you wake up. It's like the game says. You wake up, you don't have a memory of where you are. You just know that you're in a freaking dungeon. There's pieces of meat. You don't know if they're human or not, hanging around you on hooks, and you hear noises. You hear noises, right? And you start exploring like any good horror movie. The first rule you do, they get killed. Start looking for where the noise is coming from. You start exploring, and doors are locked. You can't get in. You know, then it's dark. You take out a lantern. Then you see some weird, just monster just kind of come out of nowhere and start chasing you, and you have no weapon. So, I mean, what choice do you have but to kind of run and find a place to hide? And you run into the first door you can open, and you hide in a closet. It's insane, man. As you're going along, the sound is just overwhelming you. You hear the guys panicking. You hear him breathing heavy, and he's running out of breath. And it's an experience, man. That's one of those games you sit in the dark, you put headphones on, and you just play.
Yeah, the sanity system is actually pretty cool. I really like that about it, and I do think that it's a little absurd the amount of tinder boxes you find lying around.
Yeah,
I mean, they're everywhere. It's like, wow, there's a ton of matches in this place. But, the story is, the way it unfolds is actually pretty cool. So I'm not really far in that one either, but I'm starting to learn a little bit more about it, and it's insane. Like the Baron guy just seems crazy, and the stuff that he did to some of those people.
Yeah.
Just wow. So
it's one of those PC titles that I kind of it's great for me to point at people who never played PC games back in the day and tell them like this is what it used to be back in before. You used to step into a character and experience a world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it does that very, very well. I mean, if you're a fan of survival horror, this is the definition of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, this puts Resident Evil, Silent Hill, all that stuff to shame because
absolutely
you are actually, that is all you're doing is surviving.
Yeah.
You cannot fight back. It's very well done. Very well done.
You're not some special forces guy. You're not some STARS member. You're not some whatever you want to call it. You're not some engineer with futuristic weapons. You know, you're just some dude who has no idea why the
just
fuck.
Some dude.
Just
oh my god!
dude.
I'm going to be Jeff.
Yes,
you're Jeff.
Jeff in a castle.
Picture Jeff. Jeff went on a Match.com date, got drugged, and he woke up in a dungeon, and he has no idea where he is.
That probably is where he is right now.
You better go rescue him. Can't have that.
That's what this game is.
Podcast. All right, you got me sold. Sweet.
Yeah, and at $20, if you have a PC that, and I don't think it's that taxing on the system either.
No, not at all. Pretty much, if you have a graphics card, you can run it perfectly.
Yeah, if you have a PC, you should probably give it a shot. It's for $20, it's definitely worth it.
Tell you what, first good question you guys decide tonight, I'll give it to them.
All right.
Amnesia's up for grabs.
All right. But so let's move on to the biggest game release of possibly the year. I don't know, maybe. And it's one that Walter, you've been playing. None of us have played it, and we want to know why we should be playing it. You're playing World of Warcraft Cataclysm. So
Cataclysm, yes. What can you say about World of Warcraft at this point, man? It's the biggest freaking MMO in the last 6 years, and no one's been close to even touching it.
12 million users.
You know, and growing, because what Cataclysm is going to do is actually streamline the experience and bring a lot of people in that normally be too intimidated to jump into the fold. You know, I don't know. What do you guys want to know about it? I mean, that's because you can do like hours talking about this game.
All right, so none of us really have extensive MMO experience, right, Tony?
I have never played an MMO.
All right, Fox.
All right, so I guess you don't have much.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm getting at.
I played a couple. I played WoW and I played Star Wars Galaxy, so it's kind of like I've had one extreme of greatness and one extreme of absolute shittiness.
All right, yeah, my only experience with it outside of like giving a like D&D online or Lord of the Rings online, I go at PAX East last year, and I mean you're not really getting an MMO experience when you're playing it for 15 minutes at a convention. Yeah. I played Galaxies when that launched, and that really put me off of MMOs for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Because that game was broken when it came out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what is the draw of Warcraft?
Well, for the long-time players, obviously it's a new classes. You can be a goblin or a worgen, a werewolf or one of those little tiny goblin dudes. You know, and plus they raised the level cap again. There's brand new dungeons. Some of those the raids that are famous for have been broken down into kind of episodes, so you don't have to be on all night playing for 6 or you know anywhere from 2 to 5 hours just to get a chance at a random epic drop. You know, now you can do like a short dungeon run and there's your loot. You know, and they've just done a better job of giving people the opportunity to get their hands on those items if that's what you're seeking in your play experience. For the new guys, Again, you have new characters you can pick from. More choices is always better, right? You have the world changed completely. All the maps in Cataclysm changed significantly. It's easier to actually just jump in and start playing. Before, the quest was just like you pick up a quest and then you had no idea where the hell you're supposed to go accomplish this. Now they have like a built-in like map indicator that will direct you to where you have to, the area where you have to accomplish, either kill a certain amount of animals or, pick up certain amount of items and, that type of deal. It's like very, much more streamlined, much easier experience. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
mean, how Warcraft's now been out for what, 6 years?
Yeah.
How does it look? How does the Cataclysm look? Like, they upgraded?
They actually upgraded what it looks like the water effects have been upgraded. So it actually looks better, and the weather effects look much better, especially running it on a high system. Overall, I mean, one of the best design elements that they did with WoW was like pick the art style, right? Very cartoonish and everything
Right.
around. So it doesn't have to be rendered realistically,
Mm-hmm.
And so they improved it. If you have a system that can handle it, and if it hasn't, it really doesn't take away much or give you much, But it's still very much. It stands up to when it was released to today. I mean, Warcraft has such a big lore around it, that I don't know, it works. I don't know what else to say,
I think that's one of the brilliant things about the design was that they made a game that could work on almost any system.
Yeah, absolutely. It's completely scalable.
Well, what I was going to say is that, crap, what was I going to say? Basically,
Who are you again?
just lost my train.
This guy just walked right into our podcast. Who the hell are you?
No, but I was thinking about like the MMOs and everything. Oh yeah, now I remember. Like, the thing that really just turns me off about it is the pay every month type deal. It's kind of like a game where it feels like you have to play. It's kind of like when you get a gym membership and you don't want to go to the gym, but you're like, well, fuck, I've already paid $40 a month for this. I have to use it. And that's kind of like how World of Warcraft is, That's my theory behind MMOs, why I don't like them.
It's like me with my GameFly account. I end up with all these games that I didn't buy, and there's a reason I didn't buy them. But now I feel obligated to play them because I have them and I paid for them.
Yeah,
now.
you're paying for it, so you want to do that. So.
Well, let me ask you this: do you feel the same way about your Xbox Live account? Do you feel like you must be on Xbox Live since you're paying for it yearly?
No, I guess not. But it's just that I use it naturally. Like if I didn't use it a lot, then yeah, I would be kind of pissed. But Xbox Live gives me access to a lot more than just Warcraft. It's a whole entertainment hub. I get Netflix and ESPN and all sorts of shit besides that.
Well, maybe this, there's an entertainment aspect to the game. There's a very live social aspect to it. You can jump in a guild and you're playing with your friends. You can meet random people and team up and have chat discussions, voice, talk over voice. So a lot of people find a lot of escapism in it, and to them, paying $15 a month for a game they just picked up for $40 or whatever that can keep them hours and hours and hours of replayability.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely justified.
Oh no, yeah, sure. I mean, another thing is that with these MMOs, I think that really relies on that friend aspect that you're talking about. And maybe I don't know. I guess I wasn't good at meeting new people or something. But I played World of Warcraft for a month or so, like until my free subscription went out. And it sucks like playing by yourself, dude. It's not fun at all. And I don't know. Maybe I just didn't find the right people, or I was at the right place. But I just, after a while, I didn't really like it at all. I don't know. It was too slow for me.
I'm about to sound like I'm the community manager for Blizzard and shit, but they tweak some of the characters. So the hunters are like the solo class because you have a pet, and it kind of feels like you have a mini party with you, so you're never really alone. So like I always make hunter classes because I like to just kind of jump on for like 10 minutes or whatever, listen to music or a podcast and go around killing shit. You know?
Right, so that was actually what I was going to ask. 'Cause not that I don't like playing games with other people, but most of my gaming is spent by myself. Like I play a lot of solo. Like, and even when I play Halo, like if nobody's on, like I'll go on for a little bit and play multiplayer by myself, like with strangers. But in this, like you're kind of working with other people, and it will be for a longer period of time. And I'm not really sure I want to commit myself to strangers for a longer period of time.
Well,
Is the game playable as a solo game? Like
absolutely, you're gonna miss out on certain quests. You know, you're gonna miss out on certain quests that require a group to go into a dungeon and kill a big boss or something, right? But again, you pick a character that can strive by itself, like let's say a paladin or a hunter, who specifically a hunter, because you just can kill shit from a range, and your pet comes in and attacks them close by, right? You can literally go from quest to quest, and then you run out of quests that you can do by yourself. You just go move on to a different zone, you know. And you can reach max levels. I know people have reached max levels without necessarily being in a guild or any of that stuff. So it would just feel like, let's say you put it in a real world setting, it would be like, you know, Chris is out there just running around by himself, me, Fonzie, and Tony over here, you know,
right.
planning on a raid. We're gonna go, you know, take care of the employees at the Gap, and we finished.
Yeah.
We do what we do. We come outside. We see you getting beat up. We run in and help you out, and then we wave goodbye. You go your own way, and we go our way. We go get ready to take a Old Navy, you know.
All right.
So there's definitely different ways to play it. Just if you're gonna play by yourself, don't get into a server that has player versus player, because you wander into like the horde territory, or if you're a horde, you run into the alliance, so different factions, and they kill you once, and they're just gonna sit over your body and wait for you to resurrect, and they're just gonna keep killing your ass until they get tired of it, you know, and they'll sit there and dance over your corpse. So just bear in mind how you're gonna play the game, and make sure you make the right choices. If you are a guy who's like, I'll jump in a team whenever I want to, then you can do a paladin or hunter who can deal a lot of damage, and they strive when they're by themselves, or they're a great, you know, asset to any team.
So
Now, were you there at 12:01 a.m. to sign on to Cataclysm the second it launched?
No, man, that's for the people that can't get into fucking beta. I've been in the beta for the last 3 months. I was in when it was in the alpha phase, and so I already had it preloaded before it even went on sale.
Nice.
It's just a matter of when those people that are just, I can't get in, the servers are down. You fucking suck.
I was reading some horror stories about people.
Yeah, welcome.
They were trying to get in the server. They were waiting to get in, and then they were getting bumped and having to wait.
Well, right now it's like, well, look, there's a certain thing in gaming. I think we can all agree. There's a lot of other people who just kind of jump on the hype, and they all of a sudden they're like, hey, look, I'm justified. I'm hardcore. Look what I'm playing, and they like to announce it, and they're like, I went to the midnight launch. Look at me, you know, and those are the ones that are like, I can't get in. Well, what do you expect? It's a fucking MMO. It's the biggest MMO on the internet. Yeah, you know.
Foz, you said you had kind of take issue with paying $15 a month for it.
Well, it's just, it adds up.
Right. I'm just thinking now, Xbox Live arcade titles, $10-15. How much do you like if you buy an Xbox Live arcade title or a PSN title, how much do you feel obligated to play it over the course of a month?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's another thing is I look into it. I don't just pick games at random.
Right.
I feel, I look at it and I say, I probably want to play at least enough to try and beat if there's a story mode to it, or if it's like time trials or something. I'll try and do that. So, I mean, maybe like 5-6 hours.
Yeah, so
I'd say.
would you feel justified playing like 5-6 hours of WoW a month?
Don't you try and get to that. Don't you dare.
No, I mean, and it's not fair because they're not the same type of games. But
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, that value proposition. Like,
You're right. It's not that much. It's just the fact that after a year you're paying $200. I mean, and like you said, it's for that social aspect. And a lot of these people that play WoW, they probably don't play as many other games that I do. But it comes down to time, really. And then in the end, it comes also down to money. If I don't play it for a month, like those games, the Xbox Live games, it's not like I'm getting charged $2 a month to play them,
Right.
or I would definitely think about it and be like, well, shit, no, I don't want this anymore. So I think that's kind of the same way. And then I don't know.
Well, let me drop the scenario in front of you, okay?
Okay.
If I told you to download the free trial again, and I told you to join a certain server and come in and play along with the guild that IGN guys have going,
Yeah.
right? And you jump in, and we don't play religiously. We play an hour a day or something, or we play at our desks before we go home and stuff like that,
Sure.
And you find you start having a blast because we're running around, we're just joking around. It's like, it's like,
Yeah, and that's a completely different scenario. It's like
it's a different. All of a sudden, it becomes like a norm, and
Sure.
it's like, and I play a shit ton of games. Everyone I work with plays a shit ton of games, but we always come into this because this is just kind of like a fun distraction. And it's kind of like a way to kind of hang out with some coworkers or just anyone that comes around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure, dude, and that'd be cool because, like I said, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in this game whatsoever, and I don't like that, especially a game that it's so vast. You kind of have to like stand back and be like, holy shit, this world is huge. So,
they did a significantly better job of when you start the game off. If you start the new trial now with the new changes, compared to the last time you did, I guarantee you're gonna be like, holy shit, because it's a lot more focused for the people to begin, and just to kind of ease into the game. It opens up gradually so that and it makes sense when you get to a certain point. Before you know it, you get to level 30 or 40, and you're like, how the hell did this happen? I'm actually good at this.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, sure. I mean, I'm thinking about Diablo 2 here, but it's kind of like when you first start your guy, he's so horribly mismanaged. Like, you have skills and things that you don't even need it or anything whatsoever, and your guy's just terrible. But after you've made like your 5th or 6th dude, you're fucking, exactly what you're doing. The best places to EXP, like, and that's the thing is with World of Warcraft, I can probably really get into it because I'm a type of guy that does like the hack and slash. I like that and like leveling up and shit. But I don't know where to level up. I don't know anyone. I don't know where to get items, like good items. I don't know how good items are. It's just if I had, like I said, like a group of people that I knew would be on there and I could play with like an hour a day, then sure, I'll put money into it.
Yeah. Again, it's been restructured. It tells you, it points you where your quest is.
Sure.
So it always keeps you fighting enemies that are in your level. You won't wander into like a side that you have no chance of beating.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's good because I played it right when it came out, and it didn't appeal to me. I haven't played it since, so who knows? All right.
Maybe
Seriously, Blizzard needs to pay me for this
Right?
podcast.
Yeah. Pay Jeff for Disney needs to pay Jeff and pay you. They got enough money.
Yes, maybe we'll give World of Warcraft a shot. But let's take a quick break, and when we come back, Tony's got some news for us, I believe.
I got a little bit.
let's hit the news, Tony.
All right, in gaming news of games I absolutely detest, apparently Activision is going to release a sequel to Prototype. It was leaked this week.
Ooh.
Yes, the first game sold something like 1.2 million copies, so they felt that justified having a sequel. So, good news, more Prototype in the world.
So nobody in
Sweet.
here is a fan of that piece of shit, right?
No.
Oh, I detested it.
I loved it.
Really?
Really?
No.
No.
I have never played a game. It wasn't enjoyable. You were like cutting people in two and like throwing cars,
It was
and
fun
it just
for, like,
wasn't
half
fun.
an hour
And
because
and
you,
and that should be fun. That should be fun. And it was boring. Like, I've never been like that. You're supposed to be New York City, and it was such a boring representation of New York. There was nothing going on in that city.
Yeah.
Well, apparently
There should be absolute chaos going on. I mean, there's a fucking guy running up a damn building and there's no one in sight. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
apparently they fooled enough people, and that it
Yeah, I
justified
don't know
it.
how. No, I thought the sales were terrible. They were good.
It sold over 1 million copies.
It
Yeah.
did?
When it released in June, and it was like the only game that was out.
Yeah, but Infamous came out that year
Infamous
too.
came out 2 weeks before, and then
Yeah.
Red Faction Guerrilla came out the week before that.
Oh, nice.
So this was
Yeah.
this was the last game at the start of the slumber slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the only thing that people had to buy for a while.
Right.
So I feel like that's the only reason it sold. It just happened to fit into that one little niche.
Well, and
So
they did a good job of hyping it up beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. The marketing team was probably twice the budget of the actual game to make.
Probably.
If it sold 1.2, how many were actually traded in then? Probably
Right.
1 million, and the 2 stayed in somebody's house, or.
You think Activision marketed that game so well, and then there are games out there like Singularity, which they didn't market at all, and
Which is
sold
actually
terribly.
good. It's actually a decent game.
Doesn't
I mean,
make any sense.
It's not great, but yeah, it was decent. Yeah, and they took the people off of the Singularity team. We're like, oh, well, we're going to have you make Black Ops maps now. Go. Like, really? Like, why don't you market their game and let it sell based on the fact that it's kind of a BioShock game? Why don't you throw that name out there while you're marketing it?
Right.
I don't know. I have heard some people, though, say that they enjoy Prototype, and it's like, I just question did you play Infamous? Like, did you play one before the other, and you were just bored, like, with the whole superhero open world concept? Like, I don't know. Infamous was such a better game. And
On every level.
Yeah. Screw that game.
Well, apparently there's demand for it, and
Apparently. Well, I mean, it's maybe they can give it like the Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2 treatment. Maybe that potential is there. Like there was
No.
definitely a core. There was definitely a core there that you could work with. Like there was some ideas that were good, but the game itself sucked. So I mean, could you improve the gameplay to a point where it would be something you'd want to play? Maybe they can.
That's what I'm saying though, is that this game, Assassin's Creed, at least it had potential. Like it had a decent story behind it, and Prototype didn't really have anything. I mean, even it goes straight up to the fucking game title. I mean, it's called Prototype. I mean,
They couldn't think of something better.
that's fucking example A. They should just call it that or something. It would have been better. But seriously, it doesn't have that potential that I saw like in Mass Effect 1 or Assassin's Creed 1, where the second one was far superior. No, not this game.
It sounds like you guys are just describing that it had a generic template in theory that has potential.
I mean, it had cool ideas, but it was executed so poorly. Like, it was so cool just to run up the building, and you're like, that's a building. See, I'm just going to run up it. But it was just, I don't know.
It was the Hulk game, the Ultimate Destruction, but with Spider-Man. But not Spider-Man, because it wasn't a Marvel game. It was like just somebody who kind of acted like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Screw that game. What's next, Tony?
Sony Computer Entertainment Japan is giving out their awards to Japanese Japanese game releases. They do 2 awards: a gold award for games that sell over 500,000 units, and a platinum award for games that sell over 1 million. And this year, only one game actually sold over 1 million copies that was actually made in Japan. Any guesses as to which one it was?
Final Fantasy 13.
Final Fantasy 13 was the only one.
Wow.
Now, is that sales in Japan or just by Japanese companies?
This is sales. You know what? They don't actually distinguish. I'm looking at the Game Informer website for this.
Well, what does that tell you, Napo?
I think
it tells me the Japanese games suck right now.
Yeah, I think that's sales in Japan by Japanese developers.
Yeah, I mean, and you look, they actually had users vote on the games that they liked the most, and they weren't Japanese produced games. It was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and like God of War 3.
Yeah, well, that's good. Maybe it's time for them to step up and actually say, hey, there's competition out there, and we're getting left in the dust.
I think some of them have. I just don't know if it's the higher up. I think some of the developers, like the people that actually make the games, I think they're actually saying, hey, we need to, step up our game, take a look at what the Western game market is doing, and do that now. But
I'm just going to steal that for a second.
But they still have to answer to their, to their executives, and their executives are like, no, continue doing it this way.
It doesn't seem like they're really looking like really out there and listening to the fans. I mean, Final Fantasy 13 was a game that could have just had money thrown at it, just like ridiculous amount. But I mean, I was surprised by all the high scores it got. It was so linear. It was nothing. It's just, it pissed me off to no end. I was so glad I just read it and I did not buy it, because it was a waste of a perfectly good game. I mean, the story was decent. The casting was good. It just, I don't know why they decided to make it so linear. You have all that time to make it a beautiful, gorgeous next-gen game, and you make it linear? I mean, I don't see the marketing behind it.
I think Final Fantasy 13 hit a couple brick walls. One was that 12 was so open that game really split their fan base. I mean, when you went from 10, which was a rather traditional Final Fantasy game, to 12, which was basically an MMO that was a single-player game, there was kind of a pushback from the traditional fans of Final Fantasy. So then it looks like they stepped back and just went all the way back and were like, all right, we're going to give you as linear a storyline as we can possibly give you, and that kind of failed too. So they just don't know what the hell they need to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry, when I hear news like this and Prototype, it just kind of makes me look at, the gaming industry from our end as fans and consumers, and it's kind of our fault, because we have so much faith in these franchises, and we keep supporting these franchises that we're dictating the market right now and throwing our money at a sequel or pre-ordering a sequel. I mean, I guess when they put incentives like a remote control car, how can you not pre-order, right?
Same way they didn't fucking pre-order the night vision goggles.
Dude, you didn't hear? You're not hardcore unless you have the collector's edition.
Yeah, sure, because night vision goggles will probably run you like thousands, and you're getting this for what, like $150 or $250 it was? Yeah, no thanks.
Hey, I got my Ezio figurine from Assassin's Creed 2.
That's sick. I like the figurines, but stupid stuff like a remote control car like made for like Japanese businessmen with the upskirt things and whatnot. I mean, that's, yeah.
Why is it Japanese businessmen? I don't understand.
Come on.
First of all, I see the marketing behind it. It makes sense. It's a first-person shooter that likes to stay realistic to military times. So a lot of these boys and girls that want to pretend they can hack it in the military. They're like, hey, I got a night vision goggle. I'm a badass. I live that life. I don't give a fuck for any of it.
Right.
But I mean, my point was, you know, we're kind of throwing all this blind faith behind all these titles just because it's a recognizable brand, and we're scaring away good games from being made. You know, that's when games like Amnesia everyone keeps screaming it inside the community, but if it's not a recognizable name, you know, nobody cares.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I suppose, but I mean, when you look at it, gamers are also pretty good about doing their research too. I mean, when you're surrounded by gaming like we are, yeah, I mean, not too many games will slip right past us, but I mean, when it comes down to the majority of the 95% gamers out there, I mean, you're completely right. But
I think you'll be surprised, man. Like, you know, I was lucky enough to actually make it to the other side of things now, and I can kind of peek into more of the industry, and it's staggering how small our numbers are becoming, like the hardcore gamer, you know, compared
We're dying.
It's not that we're dying, you know, we're becoming more educated and stuff. And we follow even more. We even more of a critical eye, but the amount of people that are actually jumping on board into this culture is staggering. And there's a lot of people who are jumping on board just as a way to become famous. You know how before in the 90s there was a get on a reality TV show to become famous?
Right.
In a sense now, be a gamer and, you know, and start talking about it and blogging. That's you're going to become famous.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, and you'll be surprised how the numbers are switching and how companies are noticing that, holy shit, people are playing Facebook games at an alarming rate. You know, whether we like to admit it or not, that's still part of our industry. That's a video game. You know, so
damn you, Farmville. Damn you.
You know, but you know, through smart marketing and everything, and us falling for all this stuff, or just not falling for it, but just kind of feeling comfortable in the franchise we love and enjoy, we're kind of dictating the market right now, and stuff like, you know, the prototypes getting made, and, you know, original IPs aren't surfacing as much anymore.
Getting Kane Lynch 2. We have no idea why, but there it was.
Yep.
I'm boggled though. That boggles my mind.
I think part of the other idea. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Fuzzy.
No, you go ahead. I was done.
Part of it is the gaming industry executives looking at the information and seeing the wrong things. I think sometimes they look at their sales figures and don't take into account circumstances. Like, for example, the first Kane and Lynch selling decently well because it was the only co-op game on the market at the time. And then co-op became pretty much standard in shooters. And when the second game hit, the fact that it was crap meant that nobody bought it. And I think you see that a lot. They just see the Metacritic score and the number of sales and make all their decisions based on that, as opposed to making really solid decisions based on the best products that they could make.
Yeah, it's a shame that Metacritic has taken over so much of this industry that, like, these developers really rely on that number. Like, if they don't hit a number, like, they, you know, people could lose their job,
Right.
because they're not hitting the right Metacritic number, and that's a shame that they're relying on review scores so highly.
I don't know if you've ever seen a THQ shareholder report, but they all read like, okay, our standard game Metacritic score is 8. We're aiming for 8.0. And they base all of their decisions on the Metacritic score. And it's sick, and you wonder why all the THQ games look the way that they do. And, you know, it's just that they're aiming for their target score, and that's all that really matters.
Oh, right, and I'm sure there's kind of like a formula that they have in their, like, internally, that it's like, if we get this, and this in our game, we're pretty much assuring ourselves of, like, an 8. It's so sad. Like, I think that the industry right now, the fact that the average review score, if it's not in between a 7 and a 10, like, gamers kind of scoff at it. Like, if it's any lower than a 7, like, that's a crappy game. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a crappy game, but if you get below a 7, that's like that's the death of a game. You're not selling shit.
That's the sad truth. There's no arguing. And if listeners are saying, "Nah, that's not the way," how many of you actually just read a full review and just look at numbers at the end of the review?
Yeah, you look at the comments. You're just seeing people like, "How come this game got a higher score than X?"
Right. It's like, did you read the text?
Yeah. My favorite one is, this game doesn't play that way based on a demo. It's like, dude, there isn't even a demo out, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, people are turning.
All right. What do we got next?
Let's see. Well, Walter mentioned military badasses. I managed to find a video of Rooster Teeth has this show called Immersion, and they do various game-related tests. Well, they wanted to see how the banter you hear over your headphones when you're playing on Xbox Live actually affected a Special Forces soldier while he was on a shooting range.
Yeah.
I guess Walter can probably vouch that the results aren't that surprising, but
no,
he actually fared better once they started. They did two. They did one dry run with nobody shouting at him, and he scored like 80. He hit the target with every shot, by the way. And then they started yelling at him, and then his second score was an 83.
Yeah.
So he just tuned it out. So not all that surprising, I suppose.
Not at all. Not when your job requires you to be at a range and shoot 2,000 rounds a month or something. It's completely routine. And it's some dude sitting on a couch talking shit ain't gonna do nothing compared to what the fuck they've experienced in the real world. So,
yeah, exactly.
But I'm sure all the guys who are on who play Medal of Honor and then play airsoft on the weekends know how it improves their game.
You wonder if I wonder if you did a test purely in the game to see how it affected people while they were playing.
Yeah.
Like if you had like somebody, I don't know how you do a shooting range in like Call of Duty or whatever, but maybe playing the game on silent and then just having somebody shout into the headphones and see how that affected how well they actually played.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know. It doesn't have a whole lot of effect on me, but then again, if somebody's making noise or whatever, I just mute them.
It'd be a more interesting experiment. Take all these hardcore Medal of Honor players, take them to the range, hand them a real fucking weapon, and tell them to engage, and then just have some,
I can tell you, I can't hit shit.
Yeah, and do it let them concentrate, let them figure it out, let them shoot. Because Modern Warfare is pretty realistic. I think we all can agree on that.
Right.
That's sarcasm, kids, in case no one's picking it up. And then just let them figure it out, and then then start shooting a fucking M60 over their head, like I did when I was in training. And see how well they do. That'd be a hell of a video to see.
I have to say, it was pretty impressive watching this guy shoot. I mean, the target's at 100 yards, and he never missed.
I'm about as accurate. I'm about as accurate in Modern Warfare as I am with a real gun. So it's just to say, not at all.
Oh, come on, you got that auto aim.
All
Pull the
right.
trick, aim right at him.
All right. Well,
No
in the
problem.
single player, I can hit shit. In the multiplayer, I can't hit anybody. Fuck that game.
It was worse for me in Red Dead, because the auto aim in Red Dead is so helpful, and then when I went to the multiplayer, couldn't hit a damn thing, couldn't shoot anyone. They had to be standing right next to me. I switched to a shotgun and just started running up to people.
Oh.
Yeah, I was that guy.
All right. What else we got?
I like to follow this guy. Michael Packer is one of the leading industry analysts for the video game industry. And he came out this week and indicated that the handheld market is dying. I think his most telling remark was that he said the PSP2 is going to be dead on arrival. We're seeing PS hardware crack, and iPod sales cutting into the market.
Yeah, well, I think that's a lot of it is, I mean, how much does an iPod Touch cost?
Was it like $199?
Yeah, like $200. So, like, if you're a parent, your kid wants, a DS or an iPod Touch, like, you're only going to buy them one. And I don't know. I think he might have something there. I still think that we're a little bit ways off before, like, Nintendo and Sony are going to be completely dead. But the PSP, as it stands, and Walter, you probably attest to this, like, it's pretty much a wasteland right now. Like, there are some really great games out there, but they don't come out on a regular basis at all.
No.
I think the worst thing that's working against the PSP is just word of mouth. Everyone says, dude, there's some few games, but it's not worth it. You
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, just like, I commute to work every single day, and just look at it. You're looking at Muni on the San Francisco. That's our train line here. You look up and down the Muni, and everyone's playing on their phone, listening to music and everything. It's about having a gadget that you can slip in your pocket and can entertain you without having to switch things out. I mean, we're no longer in the Walkman era, right? We don't have a Walkman for music. We don't have a Game Boy for games. Everything. We're looking for gadgets that can provide us multiple use, right?
Yeah, I probably look like a complete freak when I like roll into work with my iPod, my phone, and my PSP or my DS. Like, why does this dude have 3 gadgets on him? Like, why? Like, and my phone will do it all. Like, my iPhone can play music, it can play games. Mm-hmm. It's like, but I want those other ones. But a lot of other people, one item is all they need.
I mean, he has. I think that makes his point very much, because right now the industry trend is saying that people are happy with one gadget, and
Yeah, if you got one that can do everything, why have more than one?
Right.
I think he also made a comment on the 3DS. He said after it has its little rush, handhelds are going to continue to decline. I mean, Nintendo is basically staking their immediate future on the success of the 3DS, and you wonder if that future isn't sustainable, what's going to happen to Nintendo?
Well, I think that the 3DS it's providing something that you can't get, like with portable gaming. And I know we've gone over the discussion multiple times, but I do not bring my portable games outside. I don't. I get excited to play them, and then I realize, no, I'm just going to keep it here. And then I realize I could just be playing my console, which has much better graphics, and I don't have to hold on to this screen I'm looking at, which is 30 inches wide, and I have this beautiful setup for my consoles. Why the fuck am I going to play this? But that's what this next era of portable gaming, the ones that are going to succeed are going to be the ones that can provide something else that we can't get, which is what the 3DS comes in.
But is it really? Like, I mean, 3D TVs are now starting to push into the market. Like,
yeah,
how long before your little iPhone can do 3D?
Right.
I mean,
it's not that convenient yet, though. I mean, 3D TVs are still like $2,000 a pop. Maybe not for at least.
But I mean, you're talking $300. Well, I mean, we don't know, and I mean, we have.
Yeah, but I mean,
we've had this discussion, but it's like that's a lot of money for a portable device. And,
yeah, that's true, but is 3D gaming or 3D TV really going to be the future? I mean, is that going to set the standard?
But is 3D gaming really going to be the future?
If they can have that screen like a 3DS without the glasses, that's the only thing that's keeping 3D from being like the standard, is that I don't want to wear these stupid fucking glasses all the time.
But is it? Like, is that really, like, you think that's really the... Do you
Damn
think
it,
people
Chris.
really want 3D?
Stop asking questions.
I'm just playing devil advocate here, because
dude.
I've talked about it before. I can't see the 3D.
Yeah.
The 3D does not work for me. So
okay, but that's why there's the slider, dude. If you want to go 2D,
right. No, I know what you're saying, but for $250, $300, like, do I want to spend that much money to to
I might
not get.
not buy it. I might not buy it day one, but if it's around $200, I'll probably get it. Absolutely, it's doing something that I can't do on a normal basis, and the graphics, dude, it looks like Xbox 360 graphics almost. It's crazy because it's such a tiny screen. You don't see those pixels.
You get the better. It looks better on the smaller screen.
It looks beautiful.
But how long before the 3DS becomes that novelty that the DS was for?
Exactly, and that's what I get scared about every time I get a portable game, because this is how I felt before I got the PSP, because I was like, oh man, the DS is for kids, the PSP is going to be so much more badass, and then after a week of playing, all I did was end up playing Tiger Woods the whole time. I was like, well, what the fuck am I doing? I could be playing this on
I have an even bigger question for everybody. When the hell are we going to realize Nintendo's just recycling their shit on us over and over?
Oh, no, I realized that so long ago.
Everyone understands that. That's, yeah.
I have talked so much shit about New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Being the 12th game that was exactly the same.
Have an original character come out with the original fucking series. I mean, Jesus.
That's my question. When the hell are people going to start jumping up and down and bust out their Mario shirt just because they want to be, that guy or that girl,
It's like, and I'm not saying that the Nintendo's not getting some, like, that they're not going, they're reviving what's it, the Kid Icarus for the 3DS, but what's one of the biggest games that everyone's talking about that they really want is Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. Oh, we want Zelda in 3D. Really? Like, you want a game that's 12 years old now? In 3D? Like, that's going to make it, that you played probably numerous times before. Like, if you're a Zelda fan, like, you love the shit out of that game. Like, I see
where you're coming from, dude. Yeah.
No, it totally makes sense. Yeah, I hear you, man. But right now, somewhere, Reggie and the rest of the Nintendo corporate team is
Reggie, dude.
wiping their ass on all of our hard-earned money.
Oh yeah,
laughing.
Nintendo's going to get there.
It's like they're like, so what are we releasing for next E3? Let's see, we gave him Donkey Kong. What haven't we recycled in a while? How about Zelda that actually works on stage? Nah.
Let's bring back the original Mario. Let's do that. We'll sell that as our big fall release, and there it is.
Anniversary edition.
Damn you!
Right. No, I'm telling you, man.
I think next year's going to be Yoshi's going to have his own game, and everyone's going to go batshit crazy and say that's the next Coming on Christ in an egg.
Hey, I liked Yoshi's Story. That game was awesome.
Hey, you're going to get it at E3, I guarantee you. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
I called Metroid last year, and I'm telling you right now, Yoshi's going to have it released it's going to be announced at E3.
Mark it down.
Sure.
I just hope they announce a new console.
Why?
You know what I hope? I hope they announce that they're not making any more consoles, and they're going to go the way of Sega, and I'll be able to get Mario on either my Sony or my Microsoft platform.
Yep. I want to see Metroid Prime running on the PS3. That'd be fucking beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine like those type of games in like a mature audience type setting? Like Xbox and stuff and whatnot. That'd be so sweet.
Fuck that. Imagine Metroid Prime running on Move, an actual Wiimote that actually works.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, Nintendo might need to give it up sooner or later.
They're not going to. There's no way they walk away from all this.
I mean, as long as money keeps pouring in, why would they? But if it doesn't, eventually they might.
They're what, the only company that makes money on their hardware? Like, or at least were at launch? Like, They have it down to a science. They know that they can shortchange their customers and not give them the best, but they'll continue to make a shitload of money.
Yep.
Oh well. All right. What do you got next, Tony?
We'll put Walter on the spot a little bit. IGN and GameStop have announced a partnership.
I might have to stop you right there. I cannot talk anything about this.
All right, so you can be silent because I have some. I really like this.
Where did you hear about this? Is this a rumor or this is true?
No, this is fact. In fact, if you follow Hillary,
he'll mention it on.
He put a post up on it today.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, that's all I can do. I can point you to that. I cannot do anything else.
No, I figured that would be the case. So you can be mum for the moment, but I'm a big fan of this deal. Having
Right.
GameStop
So
advertise on IGN is a much better idea than having, say, Activision. Like, there's always been that tension in gaming journalism where the fact that the websites exist because the publishers that publish the games that they review and talk about
I know,
actually
it's in the
fund them.
background. It looks so
It's
sketchy
a
back
contradiction, but I mean,
Right.
they need each other. But this seems to be more. I don't want to say. Well, I think it's a better sort of deal where you're not necessarily getting a company that has direct influence over IGN or vice versa. It's more of a symbiotic relationship than sort of. I don't know. It seems better to me.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I this is the first I'm hearing about it, like other than what I saw on Twitter from Hill. So,
Yeah, no, I think
interesting.
it's a good partnership. I mean, like you're saying, it looks so goofy when all they have plastered everywhere is Black Ops stuff, and then you're supposed to get a review here, and it's supposed to be not at least somewhat biased that these guys are paying you mad money.
But I understand like why people would come in doing that, but everything that I've ever known about how that stuff works is the marketing department and the editorial departments are not the same. So
Yeah,
they,
sure.
they really don't touch each other.
Well, I mean, for Vagary, when I posted my Black Ops review,
Right.
I had no idea until the very moment I had posted it that our entire website was skinned in
Skinned in
Black Ops.
yeah.
And of course, I had
Okay.
given the game a 5 out of 5, and I was like, shit. The first thing I had to do was comment on my own review and say, oh, by the way, I wasn't compensated at all, and I bought my own copy. Because it just looked terrible.
Right, yeah. It's,
Hey guys, this is a 5 out of 5 right here. I'm pinning my monies.
alright. So well, there's
And
that.
apparently there was this big shitstorm on IGN about it. I don't know why people would complain, but
About the partnership?
about the partnership, yeah.
I think it's just that so many people dislike GameStop. I seriously, I think that will be why. That will be the only reason why. Is GameStop has such a shitty name amongst the online community. And a lot of it is, that we're more knowledgeable about games and what they're worth, and we go in there and it's like it feels like we're being ripped off when you go into one of their stores and you look at their used games. And I don't buy used games from them, so, and I generally don't buy used games in general. So I don't
Generally.
I don't feel ripped off.
Mm.
And I don't have any problem, selling them back my games because they're convenient.
Right.
But I can see where somebody would be like, they're giving me $15 for this game, but they're going to turn around and sell it for $55.
Right.
And a lot of, there's a lot of animosity between they feel that they are entitled to more of a cut of what GameStop, and it's like, you're not.
You can sell it yourself. I mean, really.
Yeah,
If you want more money for your game,
that's what it comes down to.
It's
It's like
GameStop exists.
it's convenient. Like if it wasn't that convenient, like they, there are other ways for you to get money for your games if you want to go that route. Like there's Amazon does trade-ins and they generally give better trade-in values. You can sell it on eBay.
Amazon is the shit, yeah.
Like what is it? Goose eggs or something like that. Like
right.
you can you do game trades. There are sites out there. There are places out there that you can get a better return. But what other place is as easy as walking in and just going, I'd like to trade these in.
Right.
And they scan them and then swipe your card and go, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's
I've
true.
never had anything against GameStop. I mean, I always feel like you have to know what you're getting into when you walk through the door. And
Right.
I mean, if you go in and you feel ripped off, well, everything that they do is posted online. You can do your research before you go there. It shouldn't be a surprise.
No. And I mean, they're a company. Their job is to make money.
Right.
And I mean, you could say that they go about it the wrong way, and you know, if Jeff were here, he could tell you about how they treat their employees bad, and that's more, you know, that to me that's more disconcerting than the fact that they give you a couple bucks less than you would get, you know, if you sold the game yourself.
Plus, I mean, if you pay attention to their trade-in deals and that kind of thing, you can get a really good deal.
Right. Yeah. You know.
I remember trading
in
in my my copy of Galaxy 2 there, and I actually traded it in for more than I paid for it originally.
At GameStop?
Yeah. No, when I got it, I got it for like 25, and I traded it in for 32.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I got a pretty decent amount for I traded in something for New Vegas on the PC, and I got $35. And I was like, hell yeah! Oh, Medal of Honor.
If you do your research, you'll be fine. I mean,
you don't buy PC games there though, Fozzie.
Shut it.
There are two perfectly easy to use online distributors.
I was a noob back then, dude.
The New Vegas was 2 months ago.
Yeah, it's been long. It's been a long 2 months.
Walter, smack him.
Paxy's got it, writing it down right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move off of this so Walter can join back in the conversation.
Yes,
wait,
please.
Walter's still here?
you guys are killing me. There's so much I wanted to say, but I can't say a goddamn thing.
It's all right.
Damn you, Job.
What's the next question? What any games we're expecting of VGAs? I can't talk about that either.
Let's see. We have
I don't think that's on
investigation into the internal financials of IGN. What? No, it's EA Games label president has announced that single-player only games are finished. And I think it's telling that this remark came out the week before what a lot of people are expecting to be the announcement of Mass Effect 3.
Do you think it's going to be Mass Effect 3, or do you think it's going to be Mass Effect?
I think it will be Mass Effect 3, and it will have multiplayer. I think it'll be the sort of hybrid you got with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Okay.
Hopefully the multiplayer is as inventive as Brotherhood. But yeah, that's what this says to me. It says to me that EA is done with having... Well, what they've done with the first two games, they released them, and they sold okay. They didn't set the world on fire. And then you notice the prices just plummeted so they could sell more games. And they didn't have that longevity that games with the multiplayer like Call of Duty have. So, I mean, you can go out and you can get a copy of Mass Effect 2, which came out this year, and you can find it for like $20 now.
Right, but how many of those... There's only so many games that the market can sustain. So you have your Halos, you have your Call of Duties, and then there might, you have your Battlefields. But there's only so many games there's only so many multiplayer games that people can play. And I still think, Singularity has multiplayer, but you can buy that game dirt cheap right now. So I'm just wondering, why focus on this? Give us our single player games.
I like single player games. I'm not sure whether developers like them. I don't think they sell well enough. I think that's a huge issue for them. And the fact that you play a single player game, you finish it, you take it back to GameStop and you trade it in, and then somebody else buys it and the developer doesn't get any money for it.
I think
that's a huge issue for them.
I think that's the biggest issue behind all this. They're trying to control the longevity of their titles. Yeah,
you've seen EA. I mean, this year EA has tried to come up with a bunch of different ways to do it. Like a bunch of content you had to have a new copy of Mass Effect 2 to get.
Right.
The whole
Cerberus network.
And without that, you were out a couple characters and some missions that were really cool. I don't know. They have to do something. I'm not sure whether. I hope it's just not a tacked on multiplayer mode. Like so many games have that now. Like BioShock 2. Did you really need multiplayer in that game? Did it increase the longevity? No, it didn't. The game is now out there. You can get it for $10. So, I mean, it's one of those situations. They're trying to do something. I just hope they have it the right way.
Yeah, I don't I think there are games that should just be single player, and then there are games that can support a multiplayer component. Like a game like Mirror's Edge, I don't see how that could support single player. And if this is the direction EA goes, I don't have a lot of faith that they're ever going to let DICE make a sequel to that game.
I hope they don't let them make a sequel to that game anyway, but I hated that game.
It was an interesting tech demo, that's for sure.
Right.
I wouldn't call it a game.
It's fun to run and jump.
Yeah.
It was memorization gameplay. You couldn't.
It was a platformer.
Yeah, I guess, but it's
a platformer with terrible combat.
Yeah.
Did you play through it? I played through it without killing anyone.
Yeah,
without shooting any guns.
I played through it twice actually. I liked it, but
I was so glad when I could get rid of it. Like when I put it in the mail and I waved at the mailman as he left. We had a moment there. It was beautiful.
Please, take this off my hands.
He rode off on his horse into the sunset. I shed a tear.
Of happiness.
That's right.
Oh, you guys. Killing me. Well, what do we got next?
All right, one last piece of news. I've been harping on the Uncharted movie for a while. Because we've already had Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake, and then David O. Russell announcing that he didn't know what the plot of Uncharted actually was. It sounds like the movie is going to be delayed for some time, since David O. Russell is moving on to another project that he's doing first.
Yeah, he's probably going to be delayed about a year. So all the people that are jumping up and down thinking it's been canceled,
yes,
it's and really, Russell has not handed in a script for Uncharted yet, so
he's still writing it.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Wait. You mean nobody's excited to see Marky Mark play Nathan Drake?
I think they should have gotten Eminem instead. That would have been a much better fit.
Oh my god.
I don't think it's as terrible as everyone is yelling about, but I mean, I was listening to the GameSpy debriefings from this past week, and Scott Bromley, he basically said the exact same thing I've been saying, is Nathan Fillion would not sell this movie. So they put somebody in there that has a proven track record of putting people in seats. And for me, and I've said this numerous times, I said it when we talked with Javi and over the last couple of weeks, I'm willing to give anybody a shot in that role until we see actual film footage of this. Like, we don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's still no guarantee it'll actually happen.
Right. I mean, that Halo movie is never happening, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I guarantee there'll be something at some point.
Yeah.
I think the Halo movie would be easier to get done than Uncharted, because Uncharted is so well laid out and it has so much life in the games already,
Yeah,
I think Uncharted has to compete with the level of cinema you actually get in an Uncharted game.
Yeah, and Halo is just a robot walking around kicking ass.
Yeah.
Who probably in the movie is going to turn out to be a hot chick. You never know.
Ew, Samus.
I keep seeing like Master Chief making lists of like top characters. I'm like, the guy doesn't exist. He doesn't talk, and he just shoots things.
It cracks me up how they think Master Chief's a better character than Gordon Freeman, and Master Chief's a fucking robot. It's an avatar.
Yeah,
nothing else.
I wonder if all these people that are voting for Master Chief on these lists are basing it off of like the extended fiction, because he is more fleshed out in the book series.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Like he is not just we don't talk all that much giant green dude. He actually has a personality in the books. But.
Yeah,
he has one in the game too. It's very understated.
Sure, whatever you say.
I mean, but the same could be said about like you can mock me all you want, but I've read 2 of the 3 Gears of War books.
Nerd alert.
I am gonna mock you on that.
And they're not terrible though, and they
Then
actually.
I turned to Dom and he injected me with more steroids.
But it's not that. Like, it actually like they actually do humanize Marcus and Dom a whole lot more than what they are in their caricatures in the game.
Okay.
It's ridiculous how much of caricatures they are. But in the books, like they're humans. Like they're going through this hellish nightmare, but they have been fleshed out. Now I wouldn't vote Marcus and Dom as great characters from video games though, because they're not. Like if you look at what they are in the video games, they're terrible. They're basically giant human meat shields.
I just love the big deal Epic made out of the second game having a much better story than the first one.
Well, it was like it was head and shoulders above the first one. The first one had about,
The first one didn't even have a story. Like
Right.
it was just
first
moving
one was
from
6
one shooting
sentences.
gallery to another.
It's like, big dudes move across bridge. Big dudes kill aliens. Big dudes kill bigger aliens.
Oscar.
Big dudes ride on train and kill bigger alien. The
I'm
end.
just waiting. I'm waiting for Gears 3 to have some sort of like high five button.
That would be so awesome.
Just like Army of Two.
Yeah. Way to go, bro! Chug this beer.
Can't wait for the game.
I love the Gears story. I love they're great games, but
The story.
no
is ridiculous.
storyline. No storyline. Stop
Nah.
pretending. The second game tried. They at least tried,
Yeah.
but
A whole lot
They
more than they
failed.
tried in the first. Yeah, so Uncharted. You know what I want? Gears of War movie.
Oh shit.
There we go.
who's gonna play Marcus and Dom? I
don't know. Some wrestlers.
Sure. We can get
Scarlett
Yeah, John
Johansson.
Cena.
Scarlett Johansson, Angelina Jolie. That's who.
done.
Okay, I'm with you on that one. That's awesome.
Can we make it
Okay.
into porno?
I already did in my mind.
Like
Grinding Gears.
Holly Berry and we need somebody else. Like a blonde to play Baird. Holly
What?
Berry could play Cole.
Oh, any of the Victoria's Secret models. Apparently they can act, according to Michael Bay.
Adriana Lima.
All right, there we go. She's gonna play Baird.
Done. We have the ultimate Gears of War cast.
There we go. All right. Let's take a quick break.
I'm breaking. I'm shaking. No faking. I'm hating. You'll always be the same. You bring the storm.
All right. First letter of the week that came in from Trent Steen. He wants to know if Fozzie can tell the story. I don't know what that means, Foz.
No, I will not tell the story on the podcast.
All right.
What is the story? I think we need a little more information.
No.
I might just have to insert something here that
you will talk.
that'll be
we can
worse
talk.
than whatever story.
Exactly.
Oh God, is that no? Am I involved in that story? No.
No.
Oh, no, good.
Okay. Walter's just like covering his tracks. To make sure I'm not.
No.
we'll just say it involved
yeah.
Fozzie, a butt plug, and a llama. That's
There you go.
All right.
I'll take that.
that's
story.
all. That's all we'll go with.
I'll roll with that
Llama.
story.
All right. First real one that came in.
We have real questions. Huh?
Yes. Well, I mean that was a real one. It
It's
came in
not all
for
butt
real.
plugs, Fozzie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ethan Crochaw.
That's Abel, whatever the hell his name is. He's a noob. He's on my IGN.
Okay. He asked, "What's up, guys? I wanted to know what game for you was the biggest surprise of 2010."
Maybe Brotherhood. Just because I didn't really have high expectations for it, and I think that it did really well, and the multiplayer was great too. So I kind of came into it, judging it a little bit early, I think, and then realized it was a really good game.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Transformers: War for Cybertron. I was expecting literally nothing. I was expecting
Okay.
another Activision. We got the license. Let's cash it in and walk away. And the game is actually worth playing. It's a decent game. I mean, I've played through a couple levels and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, I gotta go with that one. I mean, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood definitely took me off guard. I was definitely not expecting a Game of the Year candidate from that game, and that's what we got.
Yeah.
But yeah, most surprising, definitely War for Cybertron. I was, given the last two Transformers games, which were utter crap fests, this was out of nowhere.
All right. Walter?
Amnesia for sure. It came out of nowhere, and I sat down. Charles recommended it, and I gave it a shot. Sat down, put some headphones on, and before you know it, I was turning on lights. So,
Nice.
That's an experience that's rare in games nowadays.
Mine is actually it's a rather big title, kind of like Fozzie's was with Brotherhood, but it was a Red Dead. You guys know I was very down on playing that game at all.
I spent weeks trying to convince you to play it, in fact.
I didn't play it until a couple months ago, maybe a month and a half ago or so, and I really liked it. I was kind of surprised. I'm not a Western guy. I don't like Westerns all that much. I really got invested in that game, so that would be my biggest surprise, the fact that I like that game.
There you go.
You don't like Westerns, you don't like Grand Theft Auto, you don't like open world games.
Yeah, he likes this game.
Yeah, I did.
What the hell?
All right, coming in from Brian, 92610.
Brian, you noob.
One, he says he's actually listening to the show now. Yay.
Yay.
Finally.
At least he's honest.
We demanded your presence, Brian.
Indeed.
And you showed up, so props.
Yes, why the fuck hasn't Crystal Dynamics made another Legacy of Kain game? The last one was totally open-ended. Is it something you guys would like? I'd play another Legacy of Kain game.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I've ever played one. I've played bits and pieces, but not start to finish.
What was the actual last one they did? Is it Blood Omen? No, not Blood Omen.
Yeah.
Was it?
I think that was it. Yeah. Where you took turns playing as Kain and the other guy.
Yeah, well, that was a cool game. I would play another one. I like vampires.
You would.
I mean, the times right now would be perfect for it, right? Everyone's in the vampire.
Yeah, there's vampires all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. They
And
got cash while the
dude, watch. when you turn on that vampire vision, if he starts like glittering, fucking instant sales right there.
Oh, it's so glittery. It's so
But Crystal Dynamics, I believe, is working on the soon-to-be-announced Lara Croft game. That was kind of
I haven't heard that company name in a while. I didn't know they're still around.
So I don't think we'll be getting a Legacy of Kain game anytime soon. In fact, I'm not even sure Square, who owns Eidos, I'm not even sure they even know what Legacy of Kain is.
Heyo.
Fozzie, you said you're not even sure you actually played it.
I've never played them. I've always heard good things about them, so I would love to see a remake. But there's other games I like to see being or having a sequel or something. So.
Tony?
Yeah, I've never played it, so.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it was just me and Walter here. So.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I personally want the original IPs, man. I'm tired of stuff coming back to life.
Yeah. Something new would be nice.
That's just me. This is the guy who's seen Pac-Man since the Atari age and is still around.
Mm-hmm.
It's still good, though.
It is good because it's a solid foundation, but I want some... It works for what it is. That's like Tetris. Tetris is never going to get old.
No. You know what I want? Miss Pac-Man Championship Edition. Give me some of that.
I want Donkey Kong versus Pac-Man Championship Edition, Turbo Deluxe, Special Edition, Hardcore, with night vision goggles. That's what I want. Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Sell that sucker for $400.
Yeah.
This one comes in from Nacho8706.
Nacho, you noob.
This kind of it's a question tailored just for you after what we were just talking about, Walter. What do we think? I think what he means. What do you think was the most original game of the year?
God. I have to go back to Amnesia because
certainly not something you see every day.
Yeah, it really isn't. It's not. Everything else kind of feels like a variation of something you played already, and this just kind of I don't know. They just turned it on a loop for you because you're almost expecting to at least pick up a stick or something in the game, and that's not the case. And it pretty much leaves it up to you to actually figure out the world around you and the plot. You can explore as much as you want, or you can just escape as much as you want. I mean, you're literally in place in an avatar, and it feels like you're the one in that situation. How many games actually accomplish that?
Right.
That's true.
So, Fozzie.
Sure. What?
Answer the question, Fozzie. Here, I'll go first.
All right.
Heavy Rain. Almost forget it came out this year, but that game was totally different from anything else I played. A game that actually used the Siraxis motion controls was kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But the way the game told the story and the fact that the story kept going no matter what happened, just an amazing experience and completely different from anything else you could really find on the market right now.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Napo. Just Heavy Rain, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it, and I think that with the story, how many times did you play through it though, Napo? See, not here. Oh, never mind. But I mean, it was cool. Like I know the David Cage, he said not to play it more than once. It ruins the experience. But I liked it. I played through it a couple times, and like he was saying, it really showed, I guess, the potential that 6-axis was supposed to have, but never was really fully implemented into games. But yeah, that's definitely I really enjoyed that game, and it was really unique. So.
Yeah, I only played through it once, and I enjoyed my initial playthrough.
Yeah, sure.
Then I found out that it was supposed to take place in Philadelphia, and since I live here in Philadelphia, that city looked nothing like my city. that kind of turned me off to ever going back and playing it. I've never seen any of those locales ever.
True. That's kind of shitty. I didn't know that.
And not one cheesecake in the whole fucking game.
Cheesy. You figure at least that asshole cop would be eating one while he's fucking walking around.
Right.
He was a dick.
Yeah, so that kind of turned me off a bit. But it's definitely it was definitely something different. Wow. Most original game. Played a bunch of games that weren't very original this year. I'm just like looking over the list of games I played and a ton of sequels. I'm gonna go with Dance Central. It really that game kind of sold me on Connect.
Oh, hello, baby.
I have my assistant here now.
All right,
Nice.
Young Alexander. Dance Central. Yeah, that's actually a good choice.
I mean, granted, there's been dancing games before, but never one that kind of does it this way. It tracks your whole body. It does a really good job of it too. It's a really fun game. So,
God, just hearing that name of the title reminds me that I have to do a dance contest at PAX now.
You are doomed, sir. Doomed. You have to dance against Sean, because that would be...
No, man.
Dancing against Sean.
Check this out. Ryan De La Rosa, or Airstrike Rhino on Twitter and my IGN. His girlfriend, Emma, goes by Death by Kittens on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to school on a dance scholarship, and she's been dancing over 4 years. All kinds of classical training. She challenged me to a dance contest. Or I don't know how this happened. I just talked out of my ass, and somehow I got dragged into this epic dance contest at PAX now.
Does she have moves? I'm just wondering. Is this, is
I
she
don't
going
know.
to destroy you, or...?
Yeah.
Well,
so.
I'm a Hispanic man. I can move my hips like with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? So I figure I'm just show up in a costume. I'm gonna distract everybody.
I don't know if that's going to work. But okay. You can try.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bribe
You
people.
sleep better at night.
I'm gonna be like, vote for me, and you get a game.
So you're basically just going to whore yourself out and just bribe the fuck out of everyone.
It's not the first time, Fozzie. It's probably not the last time I whore myself out. So.
Ew.
Oh, let's see. All right, so I got that one. Now we're moving on to Twitter. Let's see. We got one from Gigawatt Conduit. He asked, "What comic book do you think?"
What?
Gigawatt Conduit.
Yeah.
Giga who?
Yeah, exactly. What comic book do you think will be the next to get the Walking Dead treatment, or which would you like to see that happen to?
DMZ. You guys ever read DMZ?
No.
It's like a military themed thing where I can't even know how to explain it. It's in an era where and it's a country, it's basically a war zone but it's told from like a soldier's perspective.
Okay.
Right. Inside very recognizable urban areas in a world you can completely relate to. So you can basically adapt it to I don't know, a country invading the United States, and small pockets of resistance are fighting them off.
Mm-hmm.
Think Saving Private Ryan, but in backdrops that you can be walking through any day.
Yeah.
But it's still from a soldier's perspective, so it's very up close, very brutal, that'd be a great HBO series. Not AMC. It needs to be an HBO.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, that sounds pretty legit.
I'll have to check that out.
See, I don't read comics all that much, so I honestly couldn't tell you.
All right, so you want Aquaman, right?
Aquaman, yes, the most exciting of superheroes.
Sea-Man.
Aquaman will work if they just put a bunch of like scantily clad women underwater. It won't work. It'd be Baywatch all over again.
Aquaman would not go for the scantily clad women. I'm going with that.
It would be Baywatch all over again. People would just watch on mute.
Get those mermaids, man.
Did you guys ever see the Aquaman pilot?
No.
They were trying to make it into a TV show, kind of like Smallville.
Oh my god! I think I know what you're talking about.
And
What was it? It wasn't called Aquaman though. It was called something else.
No, it was called Aquaman.
Oh.
And it never actually aired, I don't think. But you could get it on iTunes, off of there.
It was that bad.
It wasn't terrible. It was okay.
You're beginning to sound like Sean a lot. Just.
It wasn't awful. It was okay.
That describes
Which I was surprised.
Aquaman's career in comics.
Yeah,
It wasn't terrible. It was okay.
I mean, if I'm going to talk about a guy who, basically Namor in the Marvel universe is the same character, except he's far cooler because he's crazy. So, but yeah, that.
I'm sorry. I'm picturing Aquaman having a conversation with an aquarium. I can't give that character any kind of,
He walks by a
goes-
drinking fountain and starts talking to it.
Yeah, he walks in and sees a crime scene. He turns to the goldfish. What do you see, little fellow?
I just love that he has like a little sidekick called Aqua Lad.
What?
Not even making that up. He has.
That sounds like I don't know, some sort of child slave.
Exactly. It's so bad.
Well, Napo has a child sidekick.
That's right. Who was way too awake for midnight.
Oh no.
So I think we've kind of got a question like this before on the show. I'm not sure if it ever aired or not, but I said The Boys before, and that comic is pretty over the top and brutal. It's a superhero comic, but it's told from the perspective of people who aren't really superheroes, and they've been tasked by like the CIA and the FBI to keep an eye on the superheroes and take them down if need be. And it's just,
That sounds pretty sweet.
yeah, it's just purely violent too. It's like over the top. Like I don't know if you could do it on AMC or anything, but I'm not sure how the series has progressed. Recently, I stopped reading it about issue 24 or 25. I think they're up around 40 or so. But it was definitely a cool concept for a book. So yeah, I'd like to see that.
All right.
All right, next question comes in from TrueHeart78. Other than IGN, do any of you belong to an online community that's worth recommending?
The Director Drive community blog.
I'm not really a part of any other community besides this one. I guess if you want to count Facebook, that could be one, I guess.
Join the Vagary TV community.
Yeah,
Join
it's
us
fun.
There's nobody there right now.
We're lonely.
Yeah. I belong to a Giant Bomb. I have an account over there. And
Would you recommend it?
yeah, it's and they're actually linked to. They're part of a network of sites, kind of like IGN is. And their network is called Whiskey Media, and they also have Screen.com, which is my go-to movie site recently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool. They have achievements for doing stuff on their site. Like they'll have like trivia contests and things you need to go look for on the site, and you'll get achievements. You can rank up your level, kind of like IGN, but there's like you're actually doing something other than just posting, and it's pretty cool. The community's nice. They're good people, and they got some good writers over there. So
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you're looking for another site outside of IGN, that's a pretty decent one. Did you hear the question, Tony?
I did.
Okay. Do you have any?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, IGN's really the only community I belong to. I mean, I go to a bunch of other sites, but
Yeah, same
I'm always seeing. I think it's Joystick. I always hop onto, and they always have that little bar across the top. Maybe it's Giant Bomb. but I never sign up. So yeah, I mean IGN meets my needs. What can I say? As far as a community,
As a community,
Easy
I
to
mean,
satisfy.
it's probably the biggest gaming community around. So
they got 28 million hits a month or something like that. Something
And-
ridiculous.
And I'm gonna say this not only because I get paid for it, but there's a lot of very cool shit in the works for the IGN community, and I'm sure he didn't say it just because he's tired and wants to leave or something. He just wants to see what's out there, you know. But there's a very cool stuff coming up. We're organizing meet and greets. There's a program that's gonna tentatively launch in January. That's gonna make all the time you've been paying for Insider completely fucking worth it. And I'm not even supposed to say that, but fuck it. But we're always constantly looking to improve every aspect of the network, and you have no idea. Like being a fan for such a long time, IGN since it was, God, it was just the N64 channel or whatever it was, and then it became Snowball.com, and then just been reading, Fran and Pear stuff for years, and then now, I have lunch with the guys on a regular basis. They know my name, not just Snack Pack. They know my real name and shit, and just seeing how passionate everyone who works there is towards making it the single best and not letting anyone come even close. It's refreshing, because it could have easily been like I joined them and it's just a one big corporate
Right.
face that's just looking to just do their job and not. There's a very strong focus on building, expanding, and strengthening the community, and awarding the guys who are like dedicated fans. So,
Are you guys Insider members?
I think I let my Insider membership lapse.
I think mine is coming up for renewal in the next couple of days, actually.
You might want to renew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little insiders. Wink,
All
wink.
right.
You didn't hear it from me.
Okay.
If I have to sit
Except
down,
we have it on this recording.
if I have to sit in front of Per Snyder and he's playing this back, I'm in fucking deep shit.
Nice.
Probably not.
Nah, hope not.
All right.
I don't want to get in trouble.
All right. Jesus. Carrot Kodar MMO asks, what do you guys think about DCUO?
I'm excited for it. I don't know. I've never been excited for an MMO before, so.
Have you guys played it at all? Anyone?
No.
I've heard some cool things about it, though. It's more combat oriented, and
It's a great game. I've been in the beta now for 2 months, and it's an incredible. I don't want to hype it up too much, but the decisions they made to not try and mirror other MMOs is just brilliant. They made it to the point where it's very much action focused, and they're using the DC license extremely well. Even bringing in voices from like Batman the Animated Series, Mark Hamill's the Joker, Kevin Conroy's Batman, all that stuff's in there, and it's just they build a great world you want to just sink time into,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the success of any MMO is going to be how big the community gets and how long it sticks together. But I think they've got a good base, right? With that particular license, they're going to attract a lot of attention they wouldn't normally get.
Well, put it this way. Okay, Fozzie's not a big fan of MMOs, right? Right, Foz?
Yeah. No, exactly.
Like, so if I said, hey, Fozzie, meet me at Gotham Central headquarters. We're going to team up and we're going to go take out Bane, and Nightwing's going to team up with us. That sounds a lot more appealing than like, hey, meet me at Undercity. We're going to go take out the Lich King or something. You know what I mean?
I think I feel acne receding when you say something like that, as opposed to
Exactly.
the other way when I just start feeling really fat and I'm
I know
thinking
it's
of that
hard.
World of Warcraft episode of South Park.
Such a good episode.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. There's certain like, I don't know. It's a good game. It's a great game.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm gonna give you guys. I'm gonna give you guys 10 codes to give away. 5 for the PC, 5 for PS3.
Yay.
You guys give it away however the hell you want.
All right.
Cool, man.
Score.
Appreciate it.
We'll run some contests over the next little bit. All right. Last question coming up.
I actually have two more. So
Okay, so last question for me coming up. Gigawatt Conduit once again asks, what old school cartoon do you think will end up being a movie next, like Smurfs or Yogi? The Yogi Bear movie, I believe, opens up this Friday.
I cringe every time I see it on TV.
Maybe a new Popeye? Is he saying like a first original one, or like? There's been Yogi Bear movies before, I thought.
Well, I mean, like there's a Yogi Bear CGI movie that comes out on Friday, starring Dan Aykroyd and Justin Timberlake.
Oh shit!
I weep for that franchise.
And then there is a terrible looking Smurfs movie that is coming out next summer.
Smurf.
And I love the Smurfs. That looks awful though.
Tom and Jerry.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Tom and Jerry would be good. Mm-hmm.
Live action.
Live action.
With Miley Cyrus, Hilary Duff, and Justin Bieber.
All right.
That's a lot of paper you got right there.
Laugh all you want, but there's an executive right now, like, signing this deal.
Probably.
Oh, shit.
Pitching it, signing, and then doing a line of coke off a hooker. It's happening right now.
American ways.
I want that job.
Wow, where do you get that job?
I have no idea.
I want Thundercats.
Hose.
Thundercats assemble.
It'll be terrible, but I would watch it. Fozzie, Tony?
I already said maybe like what did I just say? I forgot. Doesn't matter. Maybe like a Popeye.
Every
you did say
cartoon I can think of already has a live action.
How about like a Daffy Duck, or Donald Duck movie?
That happened a couple years back.
Did it?
Yeah. With
I
Bugs and Daffy.
I want to see a trilogy finish up with a Goofy story. Because I think the sequel came out. So they need to get a third film out there.
I want DuckTales.
Yeah.
DuckTales would be a sick one, yeah. Alright, we'll go with
DuckTales the
that.
movie was pretty sick.
How about like a new Looney Tunes movie? There hasn't been one of those in a long time.
I want a new DuckTales game.
That'd be
I love
from the NES.
The NES one.
Yeah,
it was
it's
so
yeah.
good.
Oh, that game is great.
Oh, careful what you wish for. It's going to come out on the Wii. If it happens.
Oh, god damn it.
Why'd you have to ruin it for us, Walter?
Yeah,
I
right.
destroyed it.
I'm sorry.
It'll probably be some terrible camera controls, and Scrooge McDuck won't be fun to play. All right, Tony.
All right, I have. This is from Dubinsky. Dub. This question is for all of you guys. What do you think is the most common genre of games you find yourself playing?
Shooters, hands down.
It's
Maybe sports games, but nah. In the end, I think it's... God, that sounds so casual, but...
Frat gamer. You always
Yeah,
call
right.
me a frat gamer. You're a frat gamer, Fozzie.
Porn doesn't
Black
count, right?
Ops.
Porn. Well, I don't know. How much time have you spent with Bone Town? I'm just wondering.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. That's rough. I
Jeez.
play a shit ton of MMA. Well, everyone knows I kind of, I've been displaced. I kind of changed my life. I uprooted my life from Florida to the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So, my best friend has been like my PSP and my little gaming laptop, and majority of the time has been just kind of, MMOs, to be honest, just so I can put some music in my headphones and just kind of kill time. So
nice.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Guess for me, it really just depends on when in the year it is. Because recently I've been playing a ton of racing games. I've been playing GT5 and Need
Yeah,
for
but
Speed.
overall, though, for the year, it's probably been shooters, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, like Halo has definitely been the game I put the most time into this year. So
And then also Bad Company.
yeah, Bad Company's
Black
up
Ops.
there. Black Ops I played about 8 hours. So
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, definitely Bad Company 2 and Halo Reach. Put a ton of time into both of those. And then I mean like games like Singularity and Metro, and
Sure.
I mean they're not your traditional shooters, but they are shooters. So yeah, lots of shooters.
Yeah, I got to go with shooters too. I don't know if I put the 3 games I probably played the most this year. Probably Modern Warfare 2 in the first third of the year, and then there were about 4 months where I played so much Bad Company 2, and then Halo. So yeah, probably shooters. I mean, I'm not sure if I were to put a list together of my favorite games, that the games in the top would be shooters.
Right.
But the games I actually play, I mean, those are also the games that you play with other people.
Yeah, I think like all 3 of those games that you mentioned, they're all strong multiplayer component. And that's why you're coming back to it.
Right.
It's because of that multiplayer component.
All right,
Cool.
and the other part of Dub's question is there a genre you wished you found more interest in?
Fighting games. Because I
Porn.
suck. Or MMOs.
Did
Need
I
more
hear
porn.
somebody say porn?
Yes.
Well, you're filling in for
Walter,
Jeff
you already
this
have
time.
plenty of interest in porn. Come on,
This is true.
let's not beat around the bush here.
Okay, I'll confess. I really just want to write and direct my own and star in my own porn as much as possible.
That's why you moved to the West Coast. It had nothing to do with IGN. You're looking for the heart of the porn industry.
Yeah,
It's true.
Silicon Valley.
Is it in San Francisco?
Damn it!
Well, I guess it would depend on the kind of porn, right?
Right.
Hey,
I should have thought more ahead. I guess I fucked up.
Oh well. I mean, you're directing, right? It's,
Yeah, I'm directing. With
What
my
was-
eyes closed. Oh, why would you do that? No.
What will we like to be more interested in?
Oh man.
That really, I don't know.
I think if I had infinite time, that's the reason I've ever played an MMO. It's not that I'm not interested in them. It's just that I play so many games. Like, I think I'm up to 40 or something on the year. I don't have time to invest, 30 hours a month in one game. But if I had infinite time, I'd love to try out an MMO.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. Like, I play just about everything else, except for fighting games, like Fozzie says, and really I don't have any interest in investing any more of my time into that.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I've
that's-
played some fighting games, but they require a certain skill set and a certain ability to push buttons and combination. I just don't have.
You don't actually I have a real answer for this. I always wanted to get into like the Dungeons and Dragons board game stuff.
Okay.
I know it's not necessarily like a console game or whatever, but
game
I
type.
always, yeah, it's a game type. I always kind of wanted to dive into that, because I don't know, I'm a sucker for like good lore and good stories and stuff, and I never actually had like an actual experience to sit down and throw the dice and all that shit.
That was fun back in the day. Back when I was a young nerd, it was very enjoyable.
Did you ever
Yeah.
play a whole campaign, Tony?
Oh yeah,
We never made it past like rolling our characters and doing like the first part of an adventure, and then it would be like another year and a half before we did it again. So it was like, oh, let's roll new characters and start an adventure. That's about as far
I
as
had
we
a
ever
group
got.
of friends in high school. We used to meet up like once a month, and we would play. We didn't necessarily always play Dungeons and Dragons. We played a lot of different games, but we definitely got in some Dungeons and Dragons. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Walter.
Thank you very much.
So is that it, Tony?
That is all the questions I have.
All right.
All right, now Walter, I
Hallelujah.
hear this rumor you have some things to give away.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. You guys, I'm gonna let you guys decide whichever, because I don't think it'd be unfair if I just start playing favorites here or something. Whatever question you guys think is the best, I'll give him Amnesia. On top of that, I'm gonna give you guys these 10 codes to give away whenever the hell you want to.
All right.
And I just tell you what, I'll give you like a $50 voucher. Do whatever you give to whoever the hell you want to.
All right.
How's that
That
sound?
works. That
All right.
sounds delightful.
So, Tony, what do you think the best question was tonight?
Looking the questions over. I don't know that any of them were particularly
Stand out worthy.
right. I will say though that Gigawatt Conduit has sent us a question every week that
Yeah.
we've asked for questions.
He is a loyal fan. I think we should reward him. He could
All
be our
right.
first super fan.
Well, Gigawatt, get us your info, and we will shoot it towards Walter,
That's what she said.
and then we will find some way to put to use your other awesome gifts, Walter.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
We'll be giving some direct-to-drive promotion before Christmas. We'll get all that stuff out before Christmas. So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be for our Christmas thing. Christmas in Canada.
so that's about wraps up our main
We got
part of the
football
show.
picks.
We do have football picks.
Yeah.
God.
They will
Hurry
be.
up.
They'll be at the end here. It's a little bit of house cleaning before we get to that. Next week will be the first part of our 3-part end of the year special, which will last the final 3 weeks of the year. So send us your your recommendations for game of the year, all that type of stuff. Let us know what you think is the best of the best. We're only doing games for final 3 episodes, so we will be doing like something on movie and music, but we'll do them more towards when the Grammys and Oscars air. So and I think that's about it. You guys got anything else to add?
I
think,
so
we got-
sleepy.
Cyrus is going to fall asleep. Before we do our football picks, I think we should thank Walter for coming on and
Yes.
being an extremely gracious co-host.
Yes,
for the week.
spending three hours of his on a Wednesday night.
Now we just need to get like Airstrike and Dylan in here, and then we'll have the whole crew.
There you go.
Tackling you guys one at a time.
Yeah, it's like right now the only guests we've had on this show are from
Yeah, it's fucking hobby.
either from the Gova podcast or formerly of the Gova podcast.
Exactly.
Well, it was fun, man. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, it's been great having you on. So, and we will see you at PAX East, right?
I'm gonna be there, man. I got something planned just for you guys too. Well, the My AGN guys.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
We're
We will be there.
definitely looking to that. I have decided I'm going to call PAX East the Boston Beer Party.
Wait, hey, but you're staying with your wifey though, right?
That doesn't mean I can't drink myself
No,
stupid.
I'm not saying that. Calm yourself, young man.
Yes,
You're
yes.
really-
My wife will be there.
Yeah. All right, cool.
I'll be covering PAX for Vagary and for the show.
Mhm.
And she'll be there observing NerdCon East. And so,
Awesome.
Have you guys actually told your listeners the point of PAX? Because a lot of these people think it's like to get an inside view on the industry. It's not. It's about
It's not.
the stuff
It's-
that happens outside of the convention. The convention
Oh,
itself
yeah.
is pretty cut and paste. It's
Yeah.
it's a giant GameStop, a bunch of demos everywhere, and just line up for hours to play something and get some
Yeah.
couple buttons here and there. It's if you're going to PAX, get in the mentality that see what you want to see, but then be prepared to jump into parties and to fucking get into groups and to socialize and to meet a bunch of nerds that love video games. That's what PAX is about.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
sure.
spent more time off the floor at PAX East than I did on it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just between going to panels and like hanging out with you guys, and like it was a blast. So
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a bunch of. Oh man, I can't even say what I have planned.
Oh
He's
boy.
gonna have all of us killed. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm so sick of them.
I keep looking at your avatar with the Viking helmet. I'm like, this could go horribly wrong.
I will say this.
Nathan, we're going to get you drunk.
I will say this. If you're a part of the my IGN community, I have something planned for you.
Awesome.
That's it. I'll leave it at that.
Boom.
All right. So we'll be back next week, and otherwise, stay tuned after the closing for our football picks.
Got your hands in your hair and you're giving advice. My intentions to reply. Every little word that I want to scream out, your reaction is a little bit on the red line. Red line. Leaving out the back door now. If you ever go my way, it would always be so wrong and crazy. You carry your anger. Don't know why. Hello, goodbye. You carry your anger. Don't know why. We'll be alright. You got your hair in a ponytail, living your life. What if you found was the tears imply? Every little choice that I wanted to make, you would turn around and make it something better. Your red line. We're sitting on the bathroom floor, wishing we could change it all, but it will always be so wrong and crazy. You carry your anger. Don't know why. Hello, goodbye. You carry your anger. Don't know why. We'll be You carry your anger. You don't know why. It's time to say
All right, football picks. I got 4 games.
Sweet.
Wow.
All right, first game up is Philly and Dallas.
At Dallas?
You're gonna make me look this up, aren't you?
I
don't
think
know.
the game is in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'll take Philly.
Ass.
I fucking hate the Cowboys. I don't care. I'll go Philly.
Alrighty. What can I do?
This is tough because the Eagles have been playing well, but the Cowboys have played really well over the last couple games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're playing a whole lot better than they have been. So
They got rid of Phillips, and suddenly they're a new team. It's shocking. Of course, I think that just sent them all a message that they're all playing for their jobs now. So, I don't know. I like Philly. Philly's a good team. I think Vic is hard to stop. They may hit him a couple of times. If Vic gets knocked out, then
yeah, that could be trouble.
they're in trouble. But
Man, you gotta feel bad for fucking that Corp guy or whatever the hell his name is. He got fucked over. Oh yeah, you're the starter. Oh no, you're not.
Cobb.
See ya.
yeah, Kevin Cobb.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Philly too. I mean, they're just looking really good right now. Dallas is still, they're playing better, but they're a little bit too shaky for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we got the Giants at Minnesota.
Wow.
I
think I have to go with Minnesota here.
The Giants have not been playing very good.
No, they haven't. And Minnesota, for whatever reason, has decided they want to play again. So
yeah, they've gotten themselves back up to 5-7.
I think it may depend though on if Brett Favre starts or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can beat Buffalo with Tavares Jackson playing quarterback. That's fine, but the Giants is a different matter.
Right.
And of course, he threw 3 picks. It just happened to be that Buffalo rolled over, and they're at that point in the year now for them. So,
hey, I got Minnesota too. The Vikings.
All right, so you both have Minnesota. I'm gonna go with the Giants. They haven't been playing well, but
Fancy.
yeah, I don't think Favre. I think Favre might be done. I think it might all be over for him. Thankfully.
No.
put him out of his
Say
misery.
such things.
Put me out of my misery, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sick of the guy too. I mean, at some point, just be done with it.
Next game, Miami at the Jets.
Oh, good thing Walter's not here anymore because I'm going to go Jets. I think they got so embarrassed that they're going to come out with a fucking, and knowing Rex Ryan and the type of coach he is, they're going to go out and they're just going to come out 100%. And I don't know if Miami's going to expect that. Miami's kind of they have their back against the wall too because what are they, like 5-7, 6-6?
They're 6-6.
Okay, so like right now this is like a point in their season where they can go 2 ways,
No, I think their season's pretty much toast.
All right, well, good day.
I'm gonna go with this for the Jets. The Jets record versus teams with a winning record, 1-3. The Jets team record versus teams with an even or losing record, undefeated. Miami is 6-6.
You bring so many stats into this.
So,
I just like fucking flip it.
So I'm going with the Jets.
All right.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to go with Miami, they were awful last week. And I mean, the Jets weren't good. They were awful as well, but when it was ugly. They could not move the ball at all. And it's one thing, to get in a shootout where your defense just isn't putting up, but they're not moving the ball at all.
Who is starting at quarterback this week? Is it going to be Henny?
Yeah, I believe Henny will be back in there. And I think a lot of his confidence is shot. Sperano did not do him any favors by throwing Pennington back in there, who immediately got hurt.
Right. Was he in for one play?
Yeah, one play he got hurt. He actually played another play, and then he came out. Jeez.
You feel bad for Pennington.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he worked so hard to get back. He finally gets a shot to, get his ass back in there, be the starter again, and one play in, and he's back. His shoulder's fucked up again, and
shitty.
But it's all right. I mean, that guy couldn't throw more than 7 yards downfield anyway. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jets as well. And then final game I got here is. You all right there, Tony? You okay? Choking to death?
Oh my goodness.
That water is hard stuff.
Did it go down the wrong pipe or something?
It did.
Ah, that's the worst.
All right. So.
What were you saying?
Well, hopefully Tony's not dead.
I turned my mic off, but you guys could still hear me. That's funny.
I don't think you turned it off then.
Final game is Oakland at Jacksonville.
Oh, you picked them, huh? I got Jags, baby. You know me.
It's I mean, they're surprisingly they're
they're
back
looking
in
good. You guys can all shut it.
They're leading the division now.
Yeah, they are. It's scary.
Indianapolis.
Sole leaders. It really comes down to that Indy game that in a couple weeks, but I don't know. I got Jags on this one. I love Oakland though. Oakland's been my team too since the beginning. So
and Oakland's putting up. They're not playing bad. They're
beat the Chargers last week.
Yeah, so they're playing decently.
Can't wait for Bears to come back. They're one of my favorite teams to watch.
They're 6-6. I don't know. It's in Jacksonville though, so
yeah.
They get to perform before they're fanned.
Fozzie.
Yeah, crazy.
They get to perform before Fozzie.
Yay.
That
makes it all special.
Yeah, this is a hard game to pick. This is harder than any other ones. I like Oakland, but they seem to be really messy at like quarterback. They don't know who's going to start at quarterback, and there's just too many questions in that team, and you never know who's going to show up. Jacksonville, I feel like it's been overlooked all season, and that's when they're at their best, is when nobody expects them to be good. So I think I'm going to pick Jacksonville. I like them.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jacksonville too. Oakland's 2-4 on the road, and Jags are 4-2 at home. And, I mean, that doesn't mean a whole lot, but Oakland has to come all the way across the country. To, they're playing a Jacksonville team that wants to keep that first place standing. So, yeah, I think we all got Jacksonville here.
Damn it!
Sorry.
Respect for Fozzie's team.
Oh yeah.
We need to make fun of USC somehow.
Never.
Let's see.
No.
Who's the running back the Jets picked over Danny Woodhead? Who was that?
Chauncey?
I believe he was a former USC running back.
Chauncey.
I believe.
Chauncey Washington. He's the man. Yeah, but they released Woodhead. He's like being Studley at the Patriots.
Yeah. I'd like to thank them for that.
Yeah. That was a super move.
He put up something like 130 yards last week.
Oh. All right. Well, so that's football.
Thank you, baby Jesus.